Watch your head.
I'll take this off you now.
Cool. So, yeah, I guess we'll just get in position and
all right.
Ready.
I'll do a quick clap so you can
Nice one.
Maybe I'll say a little thing to the camera first.
Yeah, a little intro.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah?
this one here.
All right.
I think you've done quite a few things podcasts before, but just so you know, just like kind of a fist distance away from the mic.
Fist distance, yeah?
Yeah, touch closer. You can move it around just wherever's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Okay, we're good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, welcome to the live debate. So, my name is Samuel Leeds, and one of the things that I love doing is having conversations with people that most people would avoid. So, I get a lot of people that message me on social media or comment on my videos and say, you're the reason that this country's messed up, or landlords are leeches, all kinds of stuff. And I like to engage in healthy dialogue, conversation, debate, not necessarily to try and tear each other down. The purpose of a debate is not to tear somebody down. The purpose of a debate is to learn, is to be open-minded. And this first one's a little bit different because this guy I'm about to be enter into a debate with is actually somebody that was a student of mine. His name's Teshi, and he's done really well for himself. And me and Teshi have been very close, and I've had nothing but love for Teshi. However, he wants to debate me for... I'm going to let Teshi explain in a moment as why he wants to debate me, but it's a little bit different. So, firstly, I want to say, Teshi, respect for coming down, because
Anytime.
personally, the way I see things is, we're living in a generation where people don't do this, where people don't dialogue, where people don't debate, and I think massive props for coming. So, I said to you this before you came. The purpose, from my end, is not to try and win an argument. It's certainly not to try and make you look bad. It's just to have a conversation, and I think that it's not only good for me and good for you, but it's also good for all the people listening because they'll be able to learn from it. Lessons will be learned all round.
Yeah.
So firstly, I want to say respect for coming down.
Absolutely, anytime, Samuel. Appreciate the opportunity as well, It's good to be running it back as well on this debate. I did reach out to you, so I'm thankful for the opportunity to put my cards on the table.
Yeah, man.
Be here with my palms up, nothing to hide, and just actually get into it and have a talk.
Absolutely. And why don't we start? Why don't you... I mean, you can maybe tell the camera, if you want, or however you feel comfortable, as to or you can tell me, but what the reason was that you wanted to sit with me, debate me. What was the... what's this about?
Absolutely, yeah. So first, I'm just going to get into a little introduction about myself as well for the audience as well. So I'm just going to let people know. So my name is Teshi Chima. I come from the north of England, from a city called Leeds. I grew up in an old mining town called Micklefield. So I was raised by third generation grandparents, and a lot of stuff happened early doors in my life, which I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it here, but I've worked hard to get to where I am, come from extremely humble beginnings. So, started with nothing. Never was involved in property, never was involved in business, never had family who owned assets, owned property, never had anyone I could really look up to and start to, achieve the things I've achieved that people would think, I had helping hands and foundations already set for me. Foundations didn't exist for me. And the reason I get onto this is because from the age of 17, this is where I really just created the foundations for myself, So I started from nothing. And the reason I tell this story is, and the reason why it loops back around, is because I have worked tirelessly and effortlessly with scars and cuts on my back and mentally, forged scars from business to get to where I am today through hard work, discipline, dedication, and always, in my opinion, acting in good faith, humbleness, and doing the best I possibly can with all the cards I've been dealt with. So the reason for this debate is, and I'm going to let you get into some stuff as well, Samuel, from my understanding, has a company called PIMS, which mediates situations, right? And this is essentially where a decision, in my opinion, went against me. And simply, I'm here to put my cards out on the table and explain why I feel like the decision that went against me was made wrongly, and why I feel so passionate, and why I'm here, with my shield, defending myself, defending my honour, and protecting my name as far as I can. Because up to today, the blacklisting, as you may know, has been very one-sided in terms of there's been no details. And, Chinese whispers goes around, right? And that's not really fair. Chinese whispers aren't fair. So I'm here to debate you, have an intellectual, honest conversation, and put my cards out on the table. So, Samuel, I'd just like to ask you, so given what you know about the PIMS case, what's your take on it with me and the client who brought it forward? What's your actual take on it?
Yeah. I mean, firstly, I want to start by saying, for context for anyone listening as to what PIMS is and how it works. So PIMS is called Property Investors Mediation Service. Now we, within the Academy, we've got hundreds of property entrepreneurs and investors. And I know you know this already, but I'm saying this for
Of course,
context.
it's important.
We've got hundreds of people that pay money, a lot of money, to be part of a community where they're joint venturing together, doing deals together, partnering, selling deals, all working together. Now, back in the day, how it used to work was I'm just a trainer. Yeah, I'm a property investor, but in this context, I'm a trainer.
Absolutely.
I'm going to teach you what to do. I'm going to put on networking events. If you do business with one another and then it goes bad, don't come to me. I'm just a trainer. I'm not. So some people used to come to me and say, "Oh, that person sold me a deal," and I'm like, "Pff." But then what would happen is, now that same person could potentially be selling bad deals, basic, not saying you, obviously, but could be scamming people in my community, and everyone's coming to me, and I'm like, I'm not getting involved. None of it.
Yep.
So I thought I need to have a system in place whereby we can protect the community so that if someone sells a deal, someone does a rent-to-rent with someone, and a deal goes bad, if we're going to look at it, we can't half-arse it.
Yeah.
So when you ask me what's my opinion, for a start, it's not really, I'm not going to answer your question,
Yeah.
but it's not really that relevant, because if my opinion, if I'm saying, oh, let me look at it, oh, what do I think? I really like you. Me and you went to Uganda together.
We did, yeah.
We had a really good relationship. You fought on my boxing show.
Undercard against the
Yeah, and won.
Won.
And so me and you got a good relationship. We've always had a good relationship. You've come from nothing, like how I've come from nothing.
Yeah.
I trained you. I mentored you through the academy. You started
Absolutely.
making lots of money. And I'm like, yeah, man, my guy.
Yep.
So the reality is, if you got a dispute with someone and they come to me, and it's a little bit 50-50, let's say, I'm a human being.
Of course.
So it'd be very easy for me to say, oh, but Teshy's my guy. Yeah. Also, what makes it even worse than that is, if I'm looking at the cases and I'm involved and it's down to me, I'm not a lawyer. I'm friends with people within the academy. And now, from a reputational perspective, people are going to say, you only said that. Even if what I say is completely fair, it's, you only said that because he went to Uganda, he fought on your show. So when I set up Property Investors Mediation Service, I set it up, and I will come back to your question. I have looked at your case.
Yes.
I looked at your case.
I should hope so.
Yeah, I looked at your case, but only because of this.
Of course.
Right, I didn't want to come into the conversation and just go, but I set PIMS up in such a way where I've got lawyers, I've got mediators, I've got professional people that know the law far better than I know the law, who run PIMS almost semi-independently. Yes, they are instructed by me. So now they make our decisions. They look into what's what, and it's got that professional. It's somewhat independent. People can't say, oh, but Samuel just likes this person. I can't be humanly. It's a conflict of interest for a judge to be friends. You know, in fact, a lot of the time, even a solicitor will say, I'm professionally embarrassed. I can't represent you. I can't. So I feel professionally embarrassed almost,
Of course.
to be involved in PIMS cases, because it's like, man, I'm their friends, I'm their mentors, I'm too involved. So that's why I set this company up, so that if we have a dispute, then it goes to PIMS. PIMS look at it. PIMS mediate. PIMS look at the receipts, and then PIMS make a ruling. So
Yeah.
that's the context. But to answer your question, what do I think? I think about the case that the ruling that was you could say against you, I think was not only fair, but I think that it was actually in your favour.
That's interesting. So what makes you say that?
Because the claim against you was 3 parts. The first part was, I want a refund. I have got the details to hand very quickly.
Okay.
The first part of the claim was, I paid you, I think, $3,000.
Okay. First, typical sourcing fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical source of fee. The deal was rubbish.
Okay.
I'm not making money on it. You missold me, and I want a refund. That was the first part of the claim. Am I right?
So I would disagree with those points, but you can keep going on.
But that's what they said.
That's what they said, yeah.
Right,
And
I'm not
of
saying it's
course,
right. I'm saying that's their
remember
claim.
there's two sides to every story, of course. That's their
100%.
claim. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But that was that was their claim.
That's their
Whether
claim.
they had merit or not is irrelevant. But that was what they were saying.
And we'll get back to that as well.
Right. The second thing they were saying is you furnished the property and you furnished it with you got the furniture for free from an estate agent friend and you furnished it badly and they wanted a refund for your furniture and dressing.
Okay. So I disagree with all those points. And that's another weird claim. So it's strange.
But
how that
Tessie,
comes
I'm not
across.
saying.
I understand.
I'm not saying that what they were saying was fair, reasonable, right, wrong. I'm saying that's what they said.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I did not hear them actually say those words, but I got that furniture off an estate agent friend. I've got receipts for furniture.
No, but they
It was
wanted a
all brand
refund
new.
for the furniture though.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Right, am I right?
So, looking back at it now, yes, we did want a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah, no, listen. You seem,
understand.
No, I don't think you do understand. I'm not saying. You seem. I'm just saying factually, they wanted a refund for those points. I'm not saying they were right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what they were asking. That's what they were saying.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. I'm not saying they're right. So they wanted a refund for the deal. They wanted money back for the furniture and dressing, and they said that the property that you had sourced for them, that you were managing, was making a loss, and they said that you agreed to top up the difference and didn't, and they were claiming for that as well.
Okay.
Is that right?
Okay, so the third bit is incorrect, but that is what they're saying as well. So I do dispute all those points. I don't agree with all those points.
But you did say that though, didn't you? You did say that you top up the shortfall.
I specified in the low season I will top it up. So let's just go back to those points. So the first point is I sold him a deal, right?
Yeah.
So as an investor, you know, as training, as a professional property sourcer, you understand when you sell someone, we've got a 14-day cooling off period.
Yeah.
You know, like all my deals, I do the best due diligence I can possibly do. Rent service accommodation is one of these games where nightly rates do fluctuate, high season, low season.
Yeah.
That's a given. You know, anyone should know that. So they had 14 days to do their due diligence. If they did buy the deal off me, you know, I sold it in good faith. I sold it with genuine, you know, understanding that it would do well.
Okay.
And at the same time,
let's keep it facts though.
keep it facts, yeah.
You can talk about.
And factually, you know, I sold comparable properties which are very like for like 3-bed, 1-baths, 3-bed, 1-baths within the same area, within, you know, just 100 doors up the street. You know, those properties did exceed well. They were getting large bookings, £35,000 bookings in 9 months. There's no context to say that that property could not have done the same. You know, at the end of the day, it is one of these games where bookings come in, bookings go out. You know, nightly rates do go up, nightly rates do go
So
down.
they wanted their money back.
Yeah.
But you're saying that they're out of the cooling off period, so tough shit.
Exactly, and that's, you know, that's fair. That's very fair.
Okay.
Second, with furniture and staging.
Well, it's not fair though if you've sold a deal in bad faith or if you've misled somebody, then that would be different.
Then it's different, yeah. If it's sold in bad faith or misled someone,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
that's
gross
now
negligence.
and that's subjective somewhat, and that would need to be looked at by an adjudicator, or if it went to court, a judge would look at that and they'd say, well, hang on a minute. Yes, they're out of the cooling off period, but did you break trading standards? Did you mislead? Did you misrepresent? And that's something
and of course,
that will be looked
I've
at.
got receipts to back myself there as well. So this is the reason I've come here. It's because I know.
But
I
that's what
acted
they
with
were claiming.
integrity.
They were claiming that you misled them. They were claiming that you deceived them. They were claiming that you sold a deal that was bad and the deal sucked and you knew it sucked. That's what they were claiming. And you were claiming, no, the deal was good. It's just a bit of a low season. It's a bit...
Yeah.
And that's what the case was about.
Yeah.
And that's what my team had to look into.
Yeah. And then the second point there about furniture and staging, saying that I brought it off an estate agent friend. That point doesn't make sense. I've not heard that point. I've got receipts
They said
for
that
my
you
furniture.
you refused to give the receipts. For
That's
the furniture.
interesting. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that because I know exactly where I do my shopping. I know exactly
Yeah.
where I buy new things from. So
Yeah.
I don't entirely agree with that. But at the same time, so let's move on to a third bit, which is where, you know, they've claimed that I offered to make up the entire overheads.
Well, I've got the exact wording of what you said to them on WhatsApp. I've got the screenshots, which
Okay.
I can read if that's helpful.
And I can bring up my receipts as well.
Yeah,
We can bring up the context as well.
Yeah, is that correct though? Is that been docked in any way, or is that because that's the
Yeah, so you need to look at the prior context and after context
okay,
as well.
but that is
of course.
correct though. Maybe you could argue
That's
it's
one
out of context.
screenshot, and I can always show you screenshots
Sure,
as well.
let me have a look then.
Yeah. So it says yes, exactly.
No, let me read it.
Okay, you can read it. Okay, you can
You've
read
checked it. You've checked it's good. It's legit. Fine, it might be out of context.
Okay.
But this is the evidence that they gave in, and that's another thing, Tesha, as well. When we do a mediation, when you say things like, "Samuel, what's your opinion?" Oh, sorry, I'll let you.
I'm trying to bring up the seats as well.
No, that's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. But you say, "Samuel, what's your opinion?" If I was mediating cases just based on a willy-nilly, what do I think? What's my gut feeling? Who's convincing me the most? What's my gut feeling saying? That's not what our mediators and adjudicators do. What they do is they go, let's go through all the receipts, let's see all of it. And it's free for Academy members. What a service to be able to say, oh, you've had a dispute with this person. You have lawyers and mediators spending tens of hours going through the receipts, looking at the bank transfers, speaking to them, speaking to you. Over 90% of our cases are resolved in mediation. Those that are not are then adjudicated. And then even when they're adjudicated, then if someone says you need to pay back, then they do because they don't want to be blacklisted. There's very few people. You're one of the very few people that have ever gone, I know I got ruled against, but you know what? I ain't paying.
And you know why I did that? It's because I'm a man of principle. But I really do want to touch on the third point you said as well.
Let's do that. Let's keep on topic.
To actually,
let me read this. It says this. It says, the guy said to you, he said, Evening Teshy, it was good to talk the other night, even though it wasn't a nice convo for either of us. Just to clarify, so he's summarising the context and everything. Just to clarify so that we can tell Samara Lettings to take the property off the market. Because he was talking about putting it back on the market because it wasn't working. You said don't do that.
Yes.
You've agreed to make up the difference of any shortfall each month for us to break even until the break clause. And you said, yeah, man, exactly. I'll fill your overheads if you're short and cover the management as well. I think the deal will work. It's just a bad time with the low season. He said, spot on, mate. We rang Samara this morning, all sorted on that front too, and you said sound, mate. So you have agreed until the break clause.
Okay, so this is where the context of what I'm saying, I haven't agreed to top it up until the break clause, and this is where the message has been misconstrued. So you can see in my receipts as well, I've got the chats live up here as well. I'm going to read it out and I can show you as well.
Show me.
So I'll show you there.
So when's this?
So this is the 3rd of November.
And when was that? That's...
Maybe the 27th of November.
But hang on, that doesn't matter.
Of course it does matter. The context does matter.
No, it's not the context because this is after. This.
And I'm going to show you after as well.
Yeah, but you've been backing and forthing with this guy for ages, but then he's messaged and said, long conversation. It wasn't nice for either of us, but just to clarify, this is now what we're saying. And you say yes. You can't then go, oh, but a month before we said something different.
This was days before, and this is what I'm saying. It's been misconstrued. It's been taken out of context and it's been manipulated.
It's a week before, but then you're clearly in a dispute, and now he's saying this and that. But Teshy, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
If you went to court, a judge would say that is a contract. That is an agreement.
Okay, so let's look at what I've said as well. So if I can read out what I've said.
Yeah, but that's pre this. It's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant because it's before and it's after. The context always matters in the sense of a situation, right?
It's not the context. It's a pre. You were backing and forth with the guy, and then he's just messaged and said, look, I know we've had lots of conversations back and forth, but this is what we agreed, right? This is the... And you say, yeah, absolutely, and confirm that in court, my friend, I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
If there was a judge right here, right now, the judge would say, yeah, that overrides. If you have if in law, if me and you have an agreement and we have a contract, even if we have a contract, if we then get a new contract, that will replace the old contract.
Well, it's interesting because I haven't even really got my points across yet.
Go on,
I
go on.
need to get my points across.
Go ahead.
Just say what I want to say.
Go ahead.
So I did actually tell this individual, I think you're jumping the gun and you need to wait out the low season. I'm going to help you on fees and rent if you're not breaking even because you're my client. But if you decide to get rid of it, I want to sell your deal on to another investor as a ready-to-go investment, which I know I can do because I've trust in this deal. It's going to work. Yeah. It's just shit timing right now coming into low season right now, but I'm going to support you completely right now and help you out. Mm-hmm. So my context was in good faith.
That shows bad faith though.
Why does it?
It shows bad faith because you're saying this guy, you've sold this guy a deal and you're managing it and presumably you're a good manager and it's not making money, it's losing money. He wants his money back. It's all a nightmare. And then he says, look, I'm just going to give it back to the agent. And then you say, don't do that. Let me sell it to somebody else. It's like, hang on a minute. If a deal's really bad and the guy isn't making money, why on earth would you say to him, don't do that, It sounds to me like you said you'll top up the shortfall because you were thinking, oh, I'll only need to pay him a few £100, top up the shortfall for a couple of months, and then I'll find another person to sell it to make another £3,000 BAP. Sounds to me like that's pretty bad faith.
Well, you can't really say that because then you're preempting stuff which hasn't happened, because I could have refunded him with that sourcing fee.
But you didn't.
Many things could have happened if I sold that deal. You know, that never happened. I didn't sell that deal. What I actually did promise was I will fill his overheads in the low season, and I will actually do that during the low season. And that is exactly what I did.
But did you though?
Throughout the low season?
After that message in December?
Yes.
Okay. But you owed him. But that agreement, you're saying that doesn't stand because you had previous stuff. I mean, when did the break clause end?
The break clause would have ended in June.
March, June. So you said here, you said here,
yeah,
in June that you'll pay the shortfall up to June, but you didn't.
So I never agreed to do it up until June.
But you did here because the break clause was June.
So this is where it's been misconstrued, and this is where I find the situation unfair, because I acted in good faith to go above and beyond for the client, and you know I acted in kindness and generosity, and he's manipulated that.
But how have you acted in kindness and generosity? You didn't refund him his fee. You didn't pay him the shortfall
So
until
he
the break
never
clause.
actually asked me to refund his fee up until that point. Up until
Yeah.
when he actually sent it to Pims, he said, I want a refund for the sourcing fee and I want the furniture and staging fee back.
Yeah.
That was never something he talked about at that point. I simply just said to him, I'll keep you in the deal and I will actually fill up your overheads for you by going above and beyond. I exceeded my obligations and I went above and beyond there, and I would agree with that, you know? And that's just honestly what I say.
But listen, Tesha, this is the point, and this is what I said at the very beginning. You won your case in the most.
I really didn't.
You really did. This is why I don't. This is why I worry about you're an intelligent guy. Right, the guy brought a claim against you. This is what I said at the beginning. He wanted his sourcing fee back, right? He wanted his furniture and dressing back, and he wanted the money that you promised him to cover the shortfall.
To me, that is taking advantage, because at no point did he ever ask
Teshe.
my sourcing fee back to begin
But
with, or the
Teshe.
furniture fee back to begin with.
I'm not
You
saying
know?
he was right or wrong.
These are added points. So anyone can then really say anything to get any,
He
sourcing
wanted
fee
all of his
back.
money back that he'd paid you. He said, listen, I've bought this deal, I've been misled.
And that's not fair either.
Listen, I'm not saying it's fair or
And I'm
not.
talking about being fair. I'm talking about as a
I'm talking about
businessman going
facts.
about above
I'm
and
talking
beyond.
about the facts.
And you can see the figures as well. You can see the facts and the figures and the receipts.
I've
got as
seen
well.
them.
Yeah.
But let me talk facts, right? Because you're not understanding. I'm not saying he's right. I haven't even been able to, in the last 20 minutes, explain to you why you mostly won your case. Because every time I start telling you what the facts are, you cut in and go, yeah, but that's not fair.
It's interesting. So I'll hear why you think I won that case when I was clearly on the losing end of that case.
Okay, here's why you mostly won that case. Because he put a claim against you, and he wanted his money back from the sourcing fee of $3,000. And he said that he'd been misled, the deal was bad, and that you'd sold him a duff deal. He said that he wanted the furniture money back because that you'd done a bad job furnishing it. You refused to give him the receipts. He said you wouldn't give him the receipts. And he asked for his furniture money back. And he also said that you promised to pay the shortfall during the break clause of his losses until the break clause of June, which you agreed, and hence we pulled out the screenshot. And that was his claim against you. So when he came to us, we always hear first the person's claim, and then we give the other person a chance to defend themselves, give their evidence, and then we mediate, and then we adjudicate. So when he brought that claim, that's what he said.
Okay.
We then spoke to you, and you defended yourself and said, no, that's nonsense, I shouldn't have to do that, and explained your case. We tried to mediate, we couldn't, and then it went to adjudication. And the adjudication, as if it was in a court case, was he's asking for his money back for the sourcing fee of $3,000. And the case said, the adjudication said, however, he's not owed his money back. He bought a deal. It's his fault. If he didn't do his due diligence, you sold him a deal. He later, way over the 14-day call-off period, said he wants his money back. No, he's not owed his money back. He should have done due diligence himself. He can't say the deal's bad because he had a 14-day call-off period. So you won that point. Second point, furniture. Okay, Teshi didn't give you the receipts. So? Teshi doesn't give you the receipts. But did he furnish it? Yes. He furnished it. You paid for a service and he delivered. You're now saying, oh, but I want the money. You haven't got a case, mate. Struck out. Lost. Another point to Teshi. 2-0. Third point. You're asking for the money to be paid for the shortfall. Well, there is screenshot evidence of that, and Teshi did say that. So, you know what? Here's the final ruling. Teshi, you do not need to return the sourcing fee. It's not fair. He paid, you delivered. You do not have to refund the furniture. It's not fair. He paid, you delivered. Teshi, the shortfall, you should pay. Okay. And the adjudication is that 2,800 or whatever pounds, whatever the shortfall was, from all the looking, you should pay that back, and you have 14 days or whatever to pay that money back. You then say, no, I don't want to pay it back.
Okay.
That is the conclusion to the matter.
Yeah. And there's a solid point there, because I'm actually going to get into this deal again, because I feel like you've spoke about everything. So I did sell this deal to this guy in August, right? So he did take it on up until November. That is when he was like, you know what, the nightly rates aren't hitting, so it's not really, projecting what you said it was. I tried giving it with facts and evidence.
You won.
At the same time, you're saying I won, but this is where I'm trying to defend myself as
well. The only point you didn't win on was the shortfall, because you should never have said, take this as a lesson, on the 3rd of December, you should never have said, yeah, man, exactly, I'll fill your overheads if you're short and cover the management as well, etc. That is your fault, and you should have took responsibility and put your hand in your pocket and paid it.
So, Samuel, I had already put my hand in my pocket and put my money where my mouth was when I offered to this individual, I'll make your overheads up in the low season. It's just a shit timing with the low season, and I will help you out now. That is exactly what I did. As a manager, as a sourcer, as an investor, I actually tried to help him as much as I could, because I want him to actually make profit.
But you didn't pay until the
deal.
time you agreed on which is the break clause in June.
So this is what I'm disagreeing with. I'm saying that those messages have been taken out of context. That's not what I agreed to. Because in my messages, we can see that
but in
I'm
law,
specifically talking about the law season,
but in law,
and how I'll help him.
In law, anything that you say after what you agreed previously, this is a new agreement.
Yeah.
And that is how most judges, if that went to court, I'm telling you now, right? Yeah. I'm telling you now, on camera, I'll tell you off camera, I'm telling you now, man to man, businessman to businessman, a man who I respect. If that had gone to court and you'd have been taken to the small claims court, what would have happened is you'd have had to pay to defend yourself. You'd have had to pay to get a lawyer, probably, if you wanted a lawyer. If not, you'd have defended yourself, which probably wouldn't have been very good. And you would have lost that point.
So it's actually very interesting you say that, because what people don't know is I actually did pay this investor back money as well. So they was asking me to pay back £2,730. Well, I actually dispute that, and I'm saying that I shouldn't pay that back, because I actually did hold my own during the low season for this investor. I did put my money where my mouth was, whether it was grands, whether it was hundreds. I did dip into my pocket, and I did pay him to actually do what I said I was going to do, in my heart of hearts, in my goodness, in my mind, what I understood was correct. Yeah. So coming out of that as well, so that is where I said, look, I shouldn't pay the £2,730 because I've already dipped into my pocket and gone above and beyond. But here, I will pay you, let's call it £2,000. He refused to accept £2,000. We end up settling on £2,230. So people haven't even seen that I actually did try and make peace with him as well.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, and that's good. I'm glad to hear that. But the thing is, and this is the crux of the matter. The crux of the matter is that when you're on the academy, and when you're under PIMS, and when you're doing contracts with people and that, as part of the T's and C's to the academy, as part of the setup on the academy, which everybody knows, is that if there's a dispute and it goes to PIMS, no matter what the case says, you can't just say, I don't like the adjudication results, so I'm not going to listen. You need...
Have you ever done business with someone and it felt unfair?
Yeah.
So emotions get the better of you. Things can happen where it goes against you and it's unfair.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, let's say you go to court and you lose. You can't go, well, I don't like that decision. On principle, it's like, you lost. So that's just, even if I personally, asked me what my opinion is, I personally think that the PIMS adjudication was brilliant. And I think that it was the fair and right decision based on the evidence. That's what I think. That's my opinion. But it doesn't matter what my opinion is. It doesn't really matter what your opinion is. What matters is I'm paying thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to have mediators, adjudicators, lawyers spending frigging tens of hours trolling through your WhatsApp messages, and you have the disrespect to go, yeah, well, I disagree. Who do you think you are?
So I feel like at the same time I did in the kindness of my heart go above and beyond for that client. This is why I offered to make it out in the low season. This is why I did what I said I was going to do.
But if you're not prepared, let me tell you something as well. And this is why you're blacklisted. Because if somebody refuses to comply with PIMs, they're blacklisted. Because you deserve to be blacklisted. Because people on the academy would want you to be blacklisted because you're somebody that will sell a deal to somebody, and then if it goes bad, we'll go through all the rigmarole of going to PIMS and getting it mediated and adjudicated. But if you disagree with the adjudication, you'll just go, well, I disagree, so tough luck.
It's interesting you say that because I've got many clients and I've refunded many clients on deals before things haven't gone well. So you can't really just say I'm the sort of person that I'll just let it go through adjudication.
I can only look at the facts.
You can look at this situation on this one
That's
case.
All I can
you
look
can't
at.
then make assumptions and say.
No, it's not making assumptions. It's saying these are the facts, and based on what happened in this scenario, I now have an opinion.
And there's been many scenarios as well.
I'm sure there have.
And I'm sure as a businessman as well, you've been through many scenarios yourself, and there's been unfair, and you've acted with emotion as well.
And I've had to make a commercial decision.
Yeah.
And say, okay, well, and I said to you, I begged you to pay the guy back, and I'm like, bro, and so did Russell. Like, bro, it's £2,800.
I made a very good point as well, and I feel like everyone did understand my points as well. I speak from the heart and I speak truthfully as well. And I genuinely did go above and beyond. I knew what I meant, and he knew what I meant as well. So I will actually go out and say that this client did take advantage of my kindness, and he did manipulate and weaponise my generosity.
But PIMS didn't let him. Because PIMS
in that situation, in that sense, I'm in this sense, I did actually disagree with PIMS.
You won.
I lost a point.
It was 2-1, and you went, yeah, but I want it to be 3-0.
Yeah.
And as a businessman, I begged you as a friend, and so did Russell, and said, bro, you're going to be blacklisted. We can't just go, oh, Teshi says he doesn't like the adjudication. Teshi's not happy it's 2-1. He wanted it to be 3-0, and he's refusing to comply with PIMS. But you know what? We're not going to blacklist him because he's a good guy. He's got a good heart, and we like him. And generally, that would be undermining PIMS. Suddenly, PIMS would be completely worthless.
Yeah, and this is where I did still go above and beyond and still pay that amount as well, £2,230. But
why not 2,800? The amount that you were supposed to pay back?
Because I felt it was very unfair.
But it's not about what you feel, bro. It's about what
it hurts your pride.
It hurts your pride.
Of course it does. When you've gone above and beyond for someone, and you feel like they've taken advantage of you.
What does the Bible say about pride?
So if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone.
Yeah.
So
but what does the Bible say about pride? It says, pride comes before what?
Go on.
Pride comes before a fall. Now, you're doing good, man, and I want nothing but your success. But certainly from an academy perspective, which is small, I know your business is bigger than that. It's not just about the academy. I get it.
Well,
right, but the reality is, you can't let your pride. I'm not happy as a businessman. You're having to deal with lawyers, judges, governments, banks, institutions, going to court. You can't just go, well, on principle, I'm not. Sometimes you need to say, you know what, let me look at this from a commercial perspective and say, even if I disagree, even if I feel like I've been wronged, I won these 2 points. If I have to pay back 2,800, but as a result, I'm not blacklisted, I'm still in the academy, and now I've got trust within everybody in the academy because they know that even if I feel like I've been wronged, if I will submit to the rulings, then that means you're somebody that can be trusted. But if you're saying I'm too prideful to do that, how can we? Do you understand?
I haven't said I'm too prideful to do that because the context which I'm defending myself is, which I'll always defend myself in. Whether I believe I'm right or I'm wrong, I want to create peace. So I have actually got money here, and I have got the difference as well. Now the difference I owe is £500. So no matter whether I believe I'm right or I'm wrong, I still want to create that peace, and I want to pay that £500.
I think that's a really good move.
I've done a lot of growth in my time, and even though whether I still feel if I'm right or wrong, I still want to make peace, and I do want to actually pay that money as well.
Oh, that's
I've got
a good
the
move.
cash here as well.
Oh, I think that's a brilliant move.
So I've actually got the cash here.
That's a very responsible.
So there is cash here. We will count it.
We don't need to count it. I know you're. I think you're trustworthy. Well, I'll pass that to the man in question.
Yeah.
And we'll unblacklist you. All right. And it's been a real pleasure.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
I look forward to catching up with you again tonight.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I mean,
how do you feel that went?
We'll have to see. I mean,
I think it went good.
You think it went good?
I think it went good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, bro. Okay.
You're proud of me, yeah?
I'm proud of you, mate.
Right, okay. Well, cheers, man.
I'm really proud of you. We'll catch up soon, all right? Off camera.
Interesting. Okay,
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
God bless you. I'll pass this to you, guy.
Let's count it first.
I don't need to count it, bro. I'll pass it to my
I think
team.
it's a bit more than 500, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a bit more than 500.
All right. Well, I'll get my
I've
guys
got
to go
5
through
grand
it.
in here. I don't want to start whipping out 5 grand.
Oh well, no. You don't.
I thought it was a bit.
You need me to. You need me to count it.
No,
Is
no,
it really
because
important?
that's not the amount. You need
Because
to
Oh, you count
the amount that you wanted to give isn't counted out yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, you count it, bro.
Sorry, yeah.
You count it, man.
This is intense.
Just yeah.
But,
Don't worry. You did well.
Yeah.
Good.
I held my own.
Good.
You know, I spoke my truth. I understand. You know, at the end of the
Good.
day, Samuel, I've done a lot of growth.
I
You
can
know,
see that.
I feel like at the end of the day, you know, I should have swallowed my pride. And I
Bro.
should have paid it. Whether I feel like I was right or I was wrong,
Yeah.
I should have swallowed my pride at the time. You know, I was 23, 24. I'm still young. I still make
Yeah.
mistakes. I'm trying my best. And at the end of the day, I just do want the best for everyone.
Yeah.
I never intentionally tried to, you know, hurt anyone, do bad business or do dodgy business.
And just remember, you won the PIMS case on the whole.
yeah, I'm gonna have to accept that.
You have.
And
You
all
will.
the time, I'll have to accept
Bro,
that.
you know how many times I've been to court and there've been like 5 or 6 different points. You don't usually win every point. It's quite rare to win every point. So, but yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was very tactical as well, Samuel, because I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting you to bring up the whole sourcing refund and the furniture and staging refunds. In my mind, I came into this debate with the understanding I'm just going to be defending myself from the low season standpoint. But at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
But you are right. You know, I should have thought about that beforehand. You know, the other
Yeah.
points that he was trying to bring up against me.
and it'd be very interesting to see what the narrative is, what people say in the comments, because obviously all this, you know, I'll be reading the comments afterwards, and you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
But my brother, we'll catch up soon, all right? And
Yeah,
I will.
will do.
I'll make sure you get removed from the blacklist
You're gonna
today.
remove me from a blacklist.
Today.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank
Yeah.
you very much then.
Catch up soon, all right?
Nice one, bro.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Yes, yeah.
Hey, real pleasure, man. Really good to meet you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Speak soon, mate.
Nice to meet you, mate. Good to see you again, man.
I'm gonna send a message and then if we're bringing our next guy. See you soon, mate. God bless you, man.
I'm going to get them.
All right. I might just need just a 2-minute breather, but
Yeah.
I might just go out for a
Yeah.
second. And go. Yeah. Oh man, did you hear all that?
Yeah.
What did you? Obviously we're live, so. But what did you? What do you think?
No, man, I thought, yeah, I think you did good, man. I think, like, I mean, did he pay? He basically wants to be back in.
No, he doesn't want to be back in. He wants to be removed from the blacklist. So he's not like sat there. It's shame on his name, isn't it?
So now, yeah. So
He wants to clear his name.
Yeah. So I think it was just where it all came down to was feelings, man. He felt a certain way.
I really like him.
No one cared about your feelings. That's what it
No one
is.
cares about your feelings.
Yeah, no one cared.
I really like him.
Yeah.
He's a young guy. He's matured. I really wish him
Yeah,
all the
it
best.
sounded like that. It did sound like that, and. Yeah.
What are you saying, man? Comment. I can't read the comments right now. I don't got my laptop. Well, I don't know where the laptop is. But comment, and yeah, I'll read them later. I got my next debate. I don't know who it is, but
Sorry, man.
did you?
Yeah.
Can I get some more water as well, please?
Yeah.
Could you send someone to get me some water? Just top that up, and then I'm ready. Just whenever. You can just bring them in whenever. Once I got some water.
Here we go.
Hello, how are you, Oliver?
Yes.
Real pleasure to meet you, man. How are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you.
Oh, amazing. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just unblacklisting you. Before we forget, I didn't promise it would
Live up to
today.
your word. Live up to your word.
Yeah.
Do you need anything, by the way? Do you need a drink or anything?
Maybe a glass of water.
A glass of water? Yeah, I'll get you one.
So you're my socialist friend, right?
That's true.
Good stuff. Well, firstly, man, takes a lot of courage. You're a young guy too. How old are you?
17.
17. Respect, man. Well, we'll just have a nice conversation, discussion. Yeah, but good. So are we still all good with the cameras? Are we all? Yeah, we're okay. Audio's okay and everything? Nice one. So tell me, what made you want to come and have a debate with me today?
I wanted to talk to you today about why I believe rent controls are absolutely necessary to stop landlords exploiting their tenants.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly, what I'm going to get you to do is just have the mic a little bit closer to your mouth.
Close to my
So
mouth.
feel free to move it wherever's comfortable.
Okay.
We'll start over.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. So we'll start over.
Okay.
So what was it that you wanted to debate today?
I wanted to introduce to you the merits to why I believe that rent controls are absolutely necessary to stop landlords exploiting their tenants.
Sure. Okay. So firstly, are you assuming that is that mine or Oliver's? Bro, that looks big and nice. I don't know. Yeah, back it one like that. That'd be great. So you're assuming that I think that rent control is always terrible?
No, I want to hear your opinion on rent controls and why.
Well, we need a debate. So let's be a bit more
Okay.
precise on what we mean by rent control. Let's talk about that first. So how do we define rent control? Because rent control can be lots of
yeah,
things.
it can vary. There's rent freezes,
Right.
caps on how much you can raise rent.
By the way, you're
annually.
very smart for a 17-year-old. I wish I had your academic ability when I was 17, because I wouldn't have even known what rent control was when I was 17. But anyway, go ahead. What are the different types of rent control? There's
There's rent freezes, there's caps on rent, there's caps on the amount rent can increase annually. And the rent control that I'm advocating for is a cap on how much it can increase annually.
Okay. See, I would argue that rent freezes, thanks very much, rent freezes are actually, I mean, to be honest, how I run my business is basically as if rent control is a thing. I've got tenants that are paying me 500 quid a month, where the rent now would be a grand.
Yeah, and is everyone on your course?
And I've not
doing
put
that as
I've not put their rents up. Is everyone on my course doing that as well? Obviously not,
Yeah.
because that's extreme to be saying you've been in my house 10 years, the rent's doubled, and I've not increased it at all. That's mad.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
literally that's the heart of Samuel Leeds. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of properties like that. I actually am just doing a documentary at the moment, and I've interviewed some of my tenants, and that they can testify. It's not me just saying it 'cause it sounds nice. Should that be enforced? No.
Why?
Because because if that's enforced, as it happens, those properties that I've got are unmortgaged for a start. If I had mortgages on them, and the rates going up,
Yeah.
and now I'm allowed to put the rent up, what do I do?
Well, of course, rent control needs to be introduced in combination to other things, like increasing the supply of social housing first and foremost, and then putting limits on how much banks can change the mortgage rates as well.
Yes. So are you saying then? Here's an interesting question. If you think, because if you were going to say rent should be frozen, and that's the least type of bad rent control, because rent's being frozen, it's not too bad because at least you're rewarding the tenant. I kind of get it. But rent's being capped and saying you're not allowed to charge more than £1,000 in Birmingham for a 2-bed house, for example, or we can only charge LHA rates. Would you say that would be a good thing?
I wouldn't say it would be a good thing, but I'd say it would be better than the situation we have right now, because at the moment, landlords face no regulation on how much they can raise rents.
No regulation, correct. However, a free market will always mean that you'll charge the going rate. You wouldn't pay £20 for a Mars bar, would you?
Well, here's where we differ, Samuel, because I don't believe in a completely free market. I believe in a mixed economy.
Of course you don't believe in a free market. You're here to debate me about rent control, which is the opposite of a free market.
So you can't say that free market is objectively a good thing.
I think that
That's your opinion, yeah?
I don't think that anything is good or bad, or there's always going to be problems
Yeah.
with there's no perfect system.
Yeah, of course.
But I would say that free market, and again, depends how you define a free market. Because a free market, if a complete free market would mean that you can have slaves.
Yeah.
That would be a complete free market. Do I believe in slavery? No. So I don't believe in a complete free market. So there has to be some regulations.
Of course.
You
But
can't-
yeah, of course. But I'm not here to advocate for full-blown communism as well equally.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, there needs to be a mix, but I think the mix at the moment is too in favour of the free market, which creates a situation where tenants are exploited by their landlords.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand what you're saying. And I think that it's a very complex, because if you're going to argue for rent freezes, now I'm going to ask you the question, do you also believe that in base rate freezes?
Base rate freeze. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah. So should the Bank of England be capped on its base rate?
Sorry, can you elaborate on
Okay.
what base
Okay.
rates are?
Okay. Mortgages.
Mhm.
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
If you've got a mortgage and interest rates are 3%,
Yeah.
can the bank just go? It's now 5% actually.
Well, can it at the moment? Yeah.
Of course it can.
Of course it can. But what I'm advocating for isn't an outright freeze. It's a freeze relative to inflation plus 1%. CPI plus 1% is what I think that the rent cap should be in this country.
All right then. Should there be a cap on what inflation should be?
Well, that's impossible.
And so is your entire theory.
How is it impossible though? Because inflation's always going to exist, Samuel.
Yeah, exactly. But should it be capped?
It can't be capped. 'Cause
And
impossible.
neither can rents.
Of course, rates can be capped.
No, they
Rents are
can't.
capped in countries like Austria, countries like
That's
Germany,
true, that's
and
true.
it works in countries like Austria and Germany.
That's not a terrible argument. But there are also areas like New York.
Yes, I'm aware, but we can learn from the lessons of the past while also taking lessons from the success stories of rent controls.
Yeah. I think, listen, I think if you're going to cap rents, it's going to have a butterfly effect on other things.
Like what?
Like, for example, if I am a landlord
Mm-hmm.
and I'm renting a property out for £1,000
Yes.
and my mortgage payments are £800, which is very normal.
Yeah.
And I've got £200 buffer. And in that £200 buffer, I've got to sort out my maintenance and my management. I'm making nothing.
But do you believe that it's ethical to be mortgaging out a house and letting someone who's working 9 to 5 shifts pay for your mortgage?
Of course.
Why so?
Because I am offering them an opportunity to rent.
And they are offering you their hard-earned money.
And every business deal that happens is a win-win situation. I put my house up for market and they applied to rent it.
But are the tenants winning?
But they applied to rent it.
But are they winning when they are being exploited?
But are the
with-
landlords winning who are making £200 a month and have to sort out repairs
Well,
and
of
management?
course landlords are winning because you're teaching landlords how to win. But I believe that the way you're teaching them
Yeah.
how to win is completely unethical.
But do you
because
know
it
why?
exploits the tenant.
But landlords aren't winning. That's why I'm teaching them. I have to teach them because, generally speaking, 90% of landlords, the average property price, what's the average house price worth in the UK right now?
I'm guessing around £1,000 a month
To buy.
to buy. 200,000.
Yeah, it's a bit more than that, actually,
Okay.
a lot more than that. So you're talking about 270, 280 grand
Okay,
to
not
buy.
too
It
much.
depends on where you are to buy a house.
Mhm.
And the average rent is just over £1,000.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, is it fair to let tenants pay your mortgage? I'm sorry, but if you buy a house for 270 grand, you're going to have to put in probably a 70 grand deposit.
You know what, Samuel? I agree with you to an extent, but also I think that if tenants are paying a landlord's mortgage, then they should be treated with respect. And I think
Of
that
course.
respect is not increasing their rent by up to 10% every single year.
I think that's fair.
How is it fair though? Because
No.
Oh.
I think what you're saying is fair.
Oh, okay.
I think that tenants should be treated with respect, and I agree. I think to hike someone's rent up is not nice.
And that needs to be enforced though, because not all landlords are going
This
to
is
do
where-
what you're doing.
Yeah, this is where it's a bit of a problem though. Whenever the government get involved with anything
Mhm.
and try and enforce things, what happens is people stop doing it. So, for example, like what you're talking about, landlords are so persecuted right now and so punished.
Persecuted? What do you mean by persecuted?
Well, for example, the taxes. Are you aware of Section 24 tax?
Section 24.
Yeah, that's a bad. Let me tell you what that is.
Tell me.
So this is a bad one. So this is a bad one.
Come on.
So if you've got a property, let's say the £800 a month thing, and you're probably going to like this rule because you seem to be quite pro torturing landlords.
I'm pro tenant.
Right, but I'm not pro either. You're pro tenant. I'm not pro landlord.
Okay.
I'm pro a free market. I'm
free
pro.
market's pro landlords.
No, it's not.
In the situation where it is at the moment, it is
It's
pro
actually.
landlords.
I'll tell you what I disagree, because it depends on the type of rent cap. So,
Okay.
for example, if you say you're not allowed to spend more than two grand a month for an apartment, is too much. So, apartments in London cannot be more than £2 grand a month.
Okay.
Would you be in favour of that?
No, because it's situational. If you're going to have an apartment right in the city centre, then of course it's going to be higher rent. But if you're living
Should there
in
be a
the
cap on it
suburbs-
though? Should there be a cap on how much they can charge? Or should there only be a cap on how much they can hike the rent up after they've signed a contract?
Here's the thing, Samuel. I think it should be up to the Metro mayors to decide. Right now, Sadiq Khan doesn't have
No,
the
but
power.
we're
He
here
has the
discussing-
democratic mandate.
But we're here discussing what
Okay.
we think.
Okay.
You can't just say, oh, it shouldn't be up to us to decide.
Well, it is up to us to decide because we should be able to vote for a mayor who
that's
makes
true.
the decision.
Yeah, that's true.
It's democratic mandate.
Yeah, kind of. So if you were deciding, would you say that rent caps, you should only stop people being able to hike up the rent? So if I move you in at £2,000 and then go 6 months later, it's now £3,000, you might be against that.
Yeah.
But are you against me saying it's £10,000? And people going, hang on a minute, that's not fair. I don't care. It's £10,000. Like it all on pitch. Do you want to move in or not? Are you against that?
I'm not against that because I think if we increase the council housing stock that we have at the moment, then it will be a situation where the price naturally goes down. But what's happening at the moment is
Right.
people are already suffering. So we need to stop the people who are suffering from these extortionately high rents.
So you're not against being able to charge whatever you want. You're only against being able to hike up a rent with an existing tenant. Am I
Yeah.
correct? Do you know what? I think that's fair.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't actually disagree with you on that. I'm sure I disagree with you on loads of other stuff.
Okay.
But I think if a rule came in that said you can't put the rents up by more than 10% in 1 year, I would go. Number one, it doesn't affect me at all
Yeah.
because I never ever do that. And number two, it's fair. As a tenant, it's not fair. As a tenant, if you're moving in and you've been told the rent's £2,000 and then you've relocated and you've positioned yourself and you've got this property, do you know what I'm also not particularly against?
hmm
No fault eviction bans.
Okay.
You aware what that is?
I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, you move in and you just go. I am confident. I don't want to say 100% because I've had a lot of tenants, but I am confident I've never evicted a tenant just because,
So what would be a fair reason to evict a tenant?
there'd be many fair reasons.
Okay. What would you say is your most controversial opinion of a fair reason to evict a tenant?
I don't know if it would be controversial, but I would say that if they are being antisocial,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that if they are damaging the property,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about a bit wear and tear. I'm talking about if they are, hitting holes in the walls or stuff like that. I would say if they are doing anything criminal.
Okay.
I would say if they are not paying their rent.
Mm-hmm.
These types of reasons.
In terms of not paying your rent, I
Yeah.
did see a recent video that you posted about you calling one of your tenants in your car, and they were explaining to you a very desperate situation
Yeah.
where they didn't have a job, and you posted a video, and I think it came across as like humiliating your tenant by
Sure.
posting that online.
Sure, I fully get that.
Mhm.
And what I'd say about that is, firstly, a lot of stuff that I do online, short form content. Sometimes it might be for marketing purposes a little bit, but secondly, I that particular call was a call where I had permission afterwards. It was the context of it was actually very respectful, and no tenants were harmed in the making of this video. Put it that way. But no, I understand that. But right now we're sat here having a long form conversation.
Yeah.
So I said to you that how I think it's reasonable to evict a tenant would be for those reasons, which is basically what the law is. I think that the law on evicting tenants right now is pretty fair.
Well, can I speak to you about a personal situation?
Please do.
With a landlord. So a few months ago, a landlord said to my mum that they're going to do repairs on my property. So we'd have to move out for a few months, and then after that, we'd be able to move back in. About 3 months later, the landlord came to us and said, look, a new family's moved in. And because the law says we voluntarily vacated the property, we have no legal grounding on whether to challenge that decision. So do you think that's a fair situation?
Yeah, I think the law is pretty fair. I think.
You think the law's fair?
Yeah,
So-
I think it is. I think that tenants are protected to a point, but also landlords are protected to a point. It's not fair to have somebody in your property not paying rent for months and months and months.
Okay, but we were paying rent, so do you think that's a
I
fair eviction?
apologise. Tell me the situation one more time.
The situation was the landlord said he wants to do repairs, so we'd have to move out for a few months.
Right.
So we all moved in with different family members.
Can he do that though contractually? Can he tell you that you have to move out because he wants to do repairs?
No, but we agreed that repairs were necessary because the state of our property was very
Right.
bad.
Did he pay for you to move out? Did he
No.
cover you?
No.
See, that's off. Straight away, I think that's off. If you're saying to you, if you're saying to your tenant you're not allowed in the house for a month because I'm doing repairs, then you should put them up somewhere and pay personally. But anyway, carry on.
So it's just situations like that, and even with just like
Is that
the
what
rent
happens? Is that all that
price,
happens?
That's what happens
No, I think that's
So
I think
now-
that's off. But why did you agree to it?
because we needed repairs on the property. It was in a really bad state.
But did you move into the property when the repairs were bad? How did it get like that?
We moved into the property 16 years ago.
Okay.
The property just naturally degraded over
What-
time,
what-
and the
what's up
landlord
with it?
refused to do repairs.
What are the things? What when you say it's naturally degraded? What's up with it?
Issues in the bathroom,
Like what?
issues, I don't know, like toilet blockages,
Yeah.
sink blockages.
Yeah, but is that because you're shaving and stuff? And is that like is that? I'm not saying it is.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like for instance, the people say, "Oh, I got a mouldy property." Mould is generally the tenant's fault.
How so?
Oh, because it's how you live. I'm not saying you live bad. You didn't say mould, but I'm saying like mould. If you don't open, if you have like showers and don't open the windows and things like that, and sometimes tenants move into properties and because it's not their property, they don't care. They don't. They'll live in such a way whereby now there's mould, now there's this problem. Oh, the sink's blocked. Who cares? Yeah, I'll just shave and who cares? And then there's problems. Now listen, if you've been in there 16 years, wear and tear's a real thing. So it sounds to me like your landlord's a bit of a douchebag. So I'd need to know more about if I heard. I need to hear the landlord's side of events in order to
Okay.
have an opinion. But based on what you've told me, it sounds to me like your landlord is a bit of a douche, and it sounds to me like if he's not done any repairs in 16 years, like I teach that you should put 10% of your rent aside for voids and repairs and maintenance, so that because it's irresponsible to not be putting money aside, part of the rent aside. That to me is just basic business common sense. It's bad business, it's bad practice, and it's bad ethics.
So do you believe that we need more enforcement on these regulations on landlords?
I think that again, there's quite there is a lot of regulation. Like you're talking as if being a landlord is not regulated. It is so regulated that landlords are fleeing the market because they can't keep up with EPC, the gas safety certificate. There's so much protecting the tenant's deposit. There's so much for a normal person. And I think what the system are trying to do is this is where I'd be interested in your opinion. I think that the big companies, BlackRock, Lloyd's Bank, all these big companies, they want to own everything. They want to own all the properties. In fact, we might even potentially agree on this. I don't know. They want to own everything. They don't want normal people to be able to own properties. They want you to rent until you die. And they want you to be a consumer of theirs.
Okay.
That's the rich.
Yeah, I agree with that principle. But
Right. And how they're doing that is they're stopping ordinary people like you. Like you.
Yeah.
And me. Because we're probably not that different. I grew up very working class. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. No one gave me loads of money. I had to work for everything I own. I had to work for. And all my properties that I own, I had to buy, save the rent, put it into my next deal, buy rundown properties, elbow grease, plaster, push the values up, sell it, use that profit to everything's, sort of from blood, sweat, and tears, and it's been horrible. It's been horrible. But what they're trying to do now is they're trying to stop people like me being able to do that ever again. They're trying to make it so that you're 17. I was 17 when I got into property. They're trying to make it so that you can't be a landlord. You can't own your own
I
property.
don't want to be a landlord.
Okay.
I want to own my own house.
They don't want that.
Okay, so I
They
believe
want
the
you to be a
solution to
consumer
that.
of them.
I believe the solution to that is replenishing the council housing stock that
But
got
that
depleted on the mortgage
I
factory.
would argue that you are very smart, you're very academic, but you're missing what's happening. You're not awake. You need to be a bit more woke, my friend.
I'm awake.
woke. You're not.
I'm
You're not
awake. I'm awake. I'm seeing.
You're not. You're
I'm seeing.
asleep.
I'm seeing the hiking of rents by landlords. That's causing a situation of where tenants are exploited, and I believe the only solution to that is to replenish the council housing stock.
But do you know why rents are going up so much?
Why so?
Because money's losing its value.
Of course, inflation is normal in any
It's not-
economy.
No. But it's only been normal when they took money off of the gold standard.
Inflation existed before 2008.
But they didn't take money off of the gold standard in 2008.
They sold up gold.
No, they
Gordon Brown
didn't.
sold up gold.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Gordon Brown sold it up a lot of gold.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
They
they
took
did.
money. No, yeah, okay.
It's an
You can't-
objective fact. That Gordon Brown sold.
When did they take money off of the gold standard in the
Gordon
UK?
Brown sold up a lot of our country's
No, but I'm
gold.
asking you a question. When did they take money off of the gold standard in the UK?
What do you mean by take off money?
Money used to be backed by gold.
I know.
So when did that stop?
1970s. That's what happened in the US, but I don't know about the UK.
You are correct. It was 1970s in the US.
Okay.
In the UK, it was 1930s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in less than 100 years, when they took money off of the gold standard, what happened is now money is fake. It's not real. Money's only worth something because we say it's worth something.
Hmm. But why do you think that money was taken off a gold standard?
Well, now we're
Come on.
now we're really going down the rabbit hole. Money was
Let's
taken
do it.
off the gold standard because the government wanted to print money.
Or was it that the people wanted more money in their pockets? Because I'm studying
No.
American history at the moment, and I know that a lot of the people that were advocating for money to be taken off the gold standards were advocating for free silver because there wasn't enough supply of money in the economy.
Yeah. But let's keep on track of how this affects landlordism
come on.
today. So what the very rich people are doing now is they're buying up all the properties. Rents are going up, not because the rent's not going up in value, rent's going up in price.
Hmm.
Houses aren't going up in value, houses are going up in price.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And what's going to happen is houses are going to become so unaffordable, not just to rent out as a landlord, but to buy at all.
Absolutely.
So what's happening is it is becoming impossible for the normal person to be able to buy property. If you want to buy property as a landlord, it's impossible.
Hmm.
And not only is it impossible, but when you do it, it's not profitable because of Section 24 tax. Section 24 tax I never actually explained. That's when your mortgage payment is not tax deductible. So if you're getting £1,000 in rent, your mortgage is £800 a month, and your profit's £200. You're having to pay tax on the entire £1,000, which is more than £200, which means you're actually losing money.
But clearly it is profitable because how else would you and the people on your course be making all of this money?
Because what they have to do is they have to figure out how to do it differently. Because
And that's normal.
straightforward,
That's just innovation. What's the issue with that?
there's not an issue with it, but straightforward landlords buying a property for 280 grand and renting it out for £1,000, you're going to lose money. It's
Okay.
not a profitable business anymore.
So then clearly those people just need to learn a different way how to do it. And that's what you're teaching. And that's what many people are teaching. So I don't see a problem. What's the issue?
The issue is that 99.9% of people aren't learning how to get around the problem. They're exiting the market and selling up. And who's buying? Lloyds Bank, BlackRock, overseas investors, big rich institutions.
But if only the 1% are benefiting, then surely there needs to be a solution where the other 99% of people can afford houses as well.
But
And I think
that isn't going to
solution
happen.
is council housing.
Yeah, but the ordinary what's happened in London,
Mhm.
the idea of owning a normal house in London right now is just a pipe dream for nearly everybody.
Oh yeah, I know.
And what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that's going to happen across the entire country. It's
But if we
gonna
just
be
increase
impossible.
the supply, then
Right. Okay. So now let's talk about the solution a little bit. Maybe
Okay.
we're agreeing. So do we? I think we're probably in agreement on the problem.
Yeah.
Of a shortage of houses, price hikes, unaffordable to get on the ladder, unaffordable to rent. I mean, this is the real problem. And to say that's clear. I mean, for any normal person in the country, I think that is clearly the problem. So I think we probably agree on the problem. My solution is to learn how to buy properties, whether that's for yourself or to rent out, how to buy properties and how to make money and how to get wealthy off the back of it, rather than complaining about what the rich do. I think actually do it, but do it ethically and fairly. Because I'll tell you something, you know when you said about tenants, if a tenant can't pay rent,
okay.
who's going to be more understanding and compassionate? A private landlord, Dave down the road, or a big nameless, faceless organisation?
The government
Are going to be more understanding?
of then Dave down the road.
I think that's the most naive
Naive,
comment.
okay.
If you think that the government are compassionate, and if you think that the government, how do the government react when you owe them money? How do HMRC react when you owe them money?
Whether the government is compassionate or not depends on what the government is. There's different governments. There's
Right.
the Tory government, Labour government.
Right, but
who's in charge?
let's be realists.
Okay, let's be
for a
real.
minute.
Come on.
Who's going to be more compassionate? The government when you owe them money, or Dave down the road?
Well, the government's paying for all of these excess housing benefits because rents
But
are being
if you
hyped
owe
up
them
so
money,
high.
The government are ruthless. They are worse than the mafia. And I know that because I deal with the government.
Mm-hmm.
They are ruthless. So you don't want Dave down the pub to be your landlord. That's annoying. You want the government.
I want it to be an option because right now there's not one because council housing waiting lists are
No,
too
you're
long.
relying on the government. You want the government. You're saying, and this is what I'm hearing, that people are too dumb and stupid to have money and have wealth.
No.
You want
No.
it to go to
No,
the
no,
all-wise, all-knowing
You're putting
government.
words in my mouth.
No,
Samuel.
no, I'm
You're
not putting words in your mouth.
my
What I'm saying is that tell me how I'm wrong, but I'm saying that's how it seems. Because what I want, my solution is, I think that people should learn how to make money, be responsible, not rely on the government, not rely on not partitioning, campaigning and petitioning. No. Be the change you want to see. Don't try and change. Don't try and you say that we can change it from voting to a point, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that want to have a better life are going to have a better life by taking responsibility of their life rather than hoping that the government save them. If you hope the government save you, you are screwed.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you where you are wrong, Samuel, because private landlordism as an industry is subsidised by the government through housing benefits. Do you not agree with that?
Say that again, sorry.
Private landlordism as an industry
Yeah.
at the moment is subsidised by housing benefits. Do you not agree with that?
I guess it depends on the landlord, right? Are you saying that a lot of landlords get paid?
No,
from
a lot of tenants are being given housing benefits by the government
Yeah.
to pay for the excessive prices of these rental houses.
Yeah, but those landlords that are getting those benefits, they're not.
I'm talking about the tenants getting the benefits to pay the landlords.
Yeah,
for-
but they're not. Those landlords are not making millions, are they? They're covering their mortgage with it. So okay.
I mean, the tenants are being paid like housing benefits
Yeah.
to being able to afford their rent.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand that as a fact.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't quite understand what the point is.
So the point is that the people are paying for the subsidisation of private landlord situation as it stands because there isn't any council housing and because the
So what's the
profits are
solution
so
then? What's the
excessive.
solution to the problem?
Okay, here's my solution.
Go on.
My solution is
If it's good,
Okay.
I'll join you, bro. I'll campaign.
The solution is the situation as it stood before Margaret Thatcher's right to buy, which was that there was a mixed economy of private rentals and council housing.
Yeah.
When we had that situation, council housing drove the price of these private rentals down, so that landlords weren't making excessive profits, and so people had the option to be able to have houses and not rely on like a landlord putting them up in an apartment, for example, when they're a big family in London, when they need to move into an actual home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we had a situation where we do have right to buy, but we do have the councils replenishing that council housing supply, then we get the best of both worlds. Because obviously private landlordship is necessary to an extent, but what's also necessary is that we have a solution, an alternative solution.
Okay.
Okay.
So you think that private landlording should exist?
Yeah.
But to what point? How many properties is it ethical to own?
I'm saying that private landlordship should exist in combination with a stable council housing supply.
Is that not kind of what does happen at the moment, though?
No, because the current rate of council houses is falling.
Okay, so you just there needs to be more council houses.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, I think that sounds like a wonderful thing. Shall I tell you what my solution is?
Go on.
From an economical standpoint, rather than just take responsibility. A few things. Firstly, I can't remember the exact number. I probably should have prepped this in preparation for this debate.
Mm-hmm.
But there are thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of properties in the UK that are empty.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Of course.
Do you know why they're empty?
Why?
Partly because the landlords are scared to rent them out because of things like rent freezes.
But rent freezes don't exist at the moment.
No, but Sadiq Khan's talking about them, and there's other things that do exist, like Section 24, like tenant eviction bans, like renters. All of the stuff that you're campaigning for will make landlords go, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna leave my property empty. Thank you very much.
That's not profitable. That's not profitable.
No, it's
long
not
term.
profitable. But
so of course they'll have to sell up eventually. That's not profitable long term.
Well, it's not. But you get paid twice. You get paid twice to own properties.
Mm-hmm.
Once in rent and once in capital appreciation.
Yeah.
So they'll just go, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna just sit on it and leave it empty. Forget it. Now
Well, there can be regulation on that as well.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Your way will. Oh, regulate that. Oh, but then regulate that. Regulate everything. And that doesn't really
My
work.
way is a combination of policies which creates a better system
No,
for
but
the
that's
average
just
person.
one example, though. There's also properties that are. There's loads of properties that are uninhabitable.
Mhm.
They're not empty because the tenants because the landlords don't want to rent them out. They're empty because.
Well, if the government buys up those properties and renovates them, then they
But
can use that as
why-
council
what makes you
housing.
think- But what makes you think the government would do that? I think that you seem a bit too trusting of the government. Do you realise
Do you not
how?
trust the government?
Do I not trust the government? No.
Of course, there's limits on how much you should trust the government.
Mate, the
like, I'm not
government are
advocating for blind. I'm
corrupt.
not. Let's get it
They
straight.
are
I'm not
corrupt.
advocating for blindly
Do you
trusting
think Keir
government.
Starmer is really trying to help people and is got the country's best interest at heart?
Well, I'm part of the Labour Party, so I do believe that Keir
Bro,
Starmer
you
is trying
are,
to change
in
the
my
country for the better.
opinion, very smart, very articulate.
Mm.
I'm loving having this conversation with you. But if you really think that the government can be trusted more than people like me,
Okay.
I mean, I would much rather. Who would you rather have as your landlord, me or Keir Starmer?
I'd rather own my house. That's what I'd rather do.
Right, fair. But who? But assuming that you can't.
Keir Starmer?
But bro,
I guess Keir Starmer's backed by all these people that are regulating him. That's why I trust the government more than private landlords, because in government there is more regulation than just one person deciding on a whim to raise rent by 10%.
but you can't regulate ethics and morals.
But you can.
No, you can't.
You can. Well, there's many factors to.
You can't regulate someone being a good businessman. You know what? You know what it is.
Mhm.
You know what happens when you're a bad businessman. You're a bad business. Like let's take if you're a bakery and you're really rubbish and you overcharge and you're a terrible bakery, you have a bad reputation and you end up going out of business. And as a landlord, if you're a bad landlord, if you charge too much, let's say I've got a property that should be £1,000,
Mhm.
but I go, I'm going to charge £2,000. Do you know what happens? I have an empty house. I can't charge what I want. The market determines what I can charge.
The situation, though, is that a housing stock in this country is so low that landlords who are bad landlords, who are raising rents by these extortionate prices,
Yeah.
they aren't being punished as you say they are.
Sorry, who won't be punished?
The landlords aren't being punished for raising the
Keir
rents by
Starmer's
extortionate
punishing
amounts.
landlords. Believe me, Keir Starmer is. Keir Starmer's pushing out landlords.
How so?
Bro, I mean, for a start, what do you think about the wealth tax that Keir Starmer said that he's considering?
I'm not a fan of a wealth tax.
Oh, really?
I don't think that's the right solution because
Okay.
it's not worked in other countries. But
Oh, fair enough.
Perhaps-
You're reasonably
Okay.
balanced though. You're not a radical, you know. And I don't think I'm radical. I think we're just two people having a discussion. You're to be fair, in my opinion, coming at it. You've got your personal experiences with your house and your mom, fine, but you're coming at it from an academic perspective. I think that's fair to say.
with experience of exploitative landlords in the past, yeah, in
So, yeah,
combination.
you've got experience with exploitative landlords, but you're coming at it more from an academic perspective. I'm coming at it. I've got hundreds of tenants. I've made millions and millions of pounds in the business. I have a property investors academy where I've got hundreds of property investors within the community. I'm doing it day in, day out, every day. I'm not studying it. I'm doing it. I'm not saying that makes my opinion right. But you know, and we're having a nice conversation. But what I'm teaching, I mean, you would probably love what I'm teaching.
Why would I? Tell me why.
Well, for a start, I'm teaching and advocating for ethical landlords, people that I'm leading by example by not putting the rent up for 10 years.
Yeah. But
I
there's
think-
only so much you can teach. It gets to a point where you do need regulation in combination because not every single one of your students is going to follow your example. It gets to the point where you've said you're a Christian, you spoke about it.
I am, yeah.
I've looked at some of your content before coming here.
Good.
And you're guided, in part at least, by your Christian beliefs.
Yeah.
But as society is becoming more secular,
Yeah.
I feel like that in turn has created a society which is more inclined to follow maximizing profit to any means necessary than to perhaps what is ethical.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And you know, that's fair. But the reason I was saying that I think you'd love coming to some of my training programs is because firstly, I'm teaching people to be fair. and to be ethical. And I'm not just saying that as a tag on at the end. That is a core part of everything that I'm teaching. But the second thing is the strategies that I'm actually teaching, a lot of them, like for example, the way that I buy houses and the way that I teach to buy houses is not to compete with first-time buyers and push up the prices and get in bidding wars. And I teach people to find empty houses, to find run-down houses that are uninhabitable, to buy them, to do them up, to turn them into nice family homes, and then rent them out.
If you're teaching ethical landlordism, then obviously that is commendable. But the fact is that not all landlords are going to follow that.
Of course they're not. But anyone that comes to me is not just going to learn how to make money. Because of course what I'm teaching is also profitable. Because if you're buying a rundown house for 200 grand and spending 100 grand doing it up, but now it's worth 400, you've made 100 grand profit.
Yeah.
So it's profit led, but it's also congruent with being economy bettering as well.
Yeah.
So I think the reason I say I think you'd love it is because I think that I believe I'm actually helping bring house prices down. In what I'm not pushing house prices up. Just because I'm encouraging people to buy houses, I'm bringing them down because they're buying the more properties. If you can buy lots of rundown properties, or if you can buy rundown pubs and turn it into 12 apartments, you've now brought more property on the market.
Well, if those apartments are big enough for habitation, then sure, that is completely fine.
But this is why I think you might slightly underestimate the regulation involved. Another thing, bro, the regulation to turn a property into 12 apartments is huge.
Of course.
The lighting, the sounds, the car parking spaces.
And it's important that regulation exists, because
It is
otherwise we'll
important.
have sardines crammed in cans.
It is important, but you know what's also bad from the government's standpoint is how difficult it is to get planning approved. If they actually, and Labour, this is why Keir Starmer, one of the reasons I have a problem with Keir Starmer, one of the reasons that I actually didn't bash Keir Starmer was because, firstly, I believe that when you've got a pilot on a plane, you should want the pilot to succeed. Right? I was also raised to respect your leaders. But also, Keir Starmer talked about how he was going to revolutionise the planning, reform the planning system, which hasn't happened.
Well, let's be real. He's been in office for 1 year. You can't do that in 1 year.
Yeah, but this is really, really important.
Yeah.
And not only has he not done it, there's no plan. There's no...
Well, he's 1 year into his 5-year tenureship. If he hasn't done that by the end of the 5 years, then sure, that's a fair, valid point.
No, but he's 1 year in. That's like saying, "Oh, I've just brought a member of staff on," or "I've just got a member of staff and they're on a 2-year contract. It's been a month and they've done nothing. But let's see how they got."
Surely you realise the fact that he is doing other things and he does have other priorities as well.
Yeah, but this is what do people really care about right now? People really care right now about not being able to pay their rent.
Right? And I'm really glad that Angela Rayner is leading an initiative to build, I think it was 3 million homes by the end of her government.
Yeah, but is it happening?
Well, I think it's on track.
Bro, if they reform the planning system properly, and it's very easy to do as well. It's not like, it's so hard.
I'm not disagreeing the fact that
would
the
solve
planning
so many
system needs
problems.
reform. Of course it does, because we're having all this bureaucracy and all this money going
All
to
this
councillors.
red tape. The stuff that you want to bring more of in. Because you're advocating for more regulation.
I'm advocating for regulation when it's necessary to protect tenants. What I'm not advocating for is unnecessary regulation of councils just arbitrarily denying planning permission.
So, in conclusion, how do you think? What do you think needs to happen?
What I think needs to happen is to live in a society where the government builds enough council houses and replenishes the council housing stock, while also implementing some form of right to buy, because I do think that could have been a good policy, but it was implementing absolutely
They
terribly.
scrapped that though, didn't they?
But it implemented absolutely terribly, because that's what led to our current housing crisis today, in my opinion. In addition to private landlordship, where the rate that a landlord can increase the rent every single year is CPI, which is Consumer Price Index, plus 1%.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I think, firstly, big picture, and my message to you as well, right? Because I don't know you at all. We've never met before. We've never spoken before. You seem like a very respectable young man, and I wish you all the best with whatever your endeavours are. And if you were if you were my son, I'm probably not old enough quite. Technically, yes. My kids are a lot younger than you. But if you were my son, I'd be really proud of you.
Thank you.
I'd be really proud of you. But what I would say is, and I would say, don't trust the government as far as you can throw them. I would say you have a duty to get rich, because if you want to help people and if you want to be able to impact, you need money.
My mission in life is to help people by becoming an MP. So,
Really?
Yeah. So
Well, mate, if you can become an MP and be an elected government official that we can trust, then that would be incredible. But
do I have your vote?
What's that?
Do I have your vote?
You definitely don't have my vote. Because I don't think we've got the same. We see
No.
the problem the same, but I don't think we believe in the same. I'm not about bringing more regulation and red tape for landlords. I think that will scare landlords off, and I think that would actually make the market worse. Rent control, definitely. There are countries. I was recently in Copenhagen, which does have rent control and a lot of regulation. And it actually seemed like a fantastic place to live.
Oh,
so you know,
so you do agree with rent control then?
Well, I don't disagree with all types of rent control.
Okay. Do you agree with the rent control that I'm proposing of CPI plus 1%?
I don't. I wouldn't campaign for it, but
Okay.
it wouldn't affect my business.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind that personally, because I don't put I don't put my rents up much anyway, because I want to reward loyal tenants. The reason I do that is not just on compassionate grounds; it's also on business grounds and commercial grounds. I know it costs me money to get a new tenant. If I'm going to hike the rent up and then the tenant goes, forget this, and leaves, I now have to pay a management company to find a new tenant. I'm going to have it empty probably for a month. It doesn't make sense. Greedy landlords are stupid landlords.
And it's just a shame that the majority of landlords don't operate on that basis. And
Well, they
instead
need
insist-
to. And that's why if you do want to be a landlord, yes, you need to make money, but also you need to do it properly. And that's why I have my training company. I don't need to run a training business.
But you do make a lot of money off it.
Not really.
£12,000 a year, I think.
£12,000. Yeah, that's the highest membership for a year, but that comes with unlimited calls with lawyers, unlimited calls with accountants, and which is part of the service. So the profit margins are about 5%. So it's not a great moneymaker, but it is a big business, and it's something that I'm proud of to have built. But I don't need to run that. In order for me to, you know what I mean? Like
I guess you're an entrepreneur, so it makes sense for you to increase your profit.
I'm an entrepreneur. I want to make money, 100%. But I also want to live a life that counts, and I want to be able to make a difference, and I want to be able to sleep well at night, and I want to be able to not just make money, but have a strategy that I believe is actually a net positive for the economy.
So do you think you're paying your fair share in taxes based on that?
Bro, that's a whole nother conversation. I believe giving money to the government, I may as well set it on fire.
How else is the government supposed to run public services?
Well, they don't use our money to do that. They print money to do that.
Yeah, but that money that's printed needs to be backed by tax revenue.
But it's not.
But it is. The government doesn't spend just drastically above their means. They spend above their means, yeah, but by
I don't
100
believe
billion.
I don't believe in how they spend their money. I think that the way that the government spend their money is not only is it not very transparent, but I think it's also spent very poorly.
Well,
and I resent every single penny I pay to the UK government.
well, I agree.
But I
with the
do
fact-
pay millions of pounds a year in tax, and I resent every penny, and I will find a way to stop very soon.
So I saw a video that you only pay yourself a salary of 12,500 a
Correct.
year. So that's tax evasion.
It's not tax evasion.
It's tax. It's a form of tax evasion. You're evading
No.
your taxes.
It's tax avoidance.
Okay, tax avoidance.
There's a big difference, because one is one will end you in prison.
Yeah, one's
one won't.
illegal, but neither are ethical because
No, of
we
course
need.
it's ethical.
How's it ethical though? Because you're earning a lot of money, you're making a lot of profit. So shouldn't some of that go back to the country that is giving you the opportunity to make all this profit?
No, I shouldn't pay. a
So
penny.
you don't have any moral obligation to this country for providing you the opportunities that they have.
Not with the way this government are and how they spend their money. No.
Not with the way any government is.
I used to be happy to pay taxes. Now I'm not, and I will find a way to stop very soon. In terms of the way I don't pay as much taxes as I probably could, by paying myself a salary of 12.5 grand and many other crazy, wonderful things that I do. I'm doing what the government want me to do.
I think what you're doing is really unfortunate because it's making it so that the poorer people in society have to pay more in tax to fund the government expenditure.
But they need to learn the game and learn the rules and play the game.
Well, you're not playing the games by the rules, though.
I am.
Well,
Am
but
I-
you're,
am
you're
I
finding a loophole in the rules. That's not
Right.
playing the game by the rules.
It is. It's exactly what playing the game is. Learning the rules and then playing the game.
But the game is the fate of our country, and when there's millionaires that aren't paying the amount
But
of
I
tax
think that
they
I'm a
should be
net
paying,
positive for the country. I think that I'm doing a lot of good for the country by providing so many wonderful homes, by buying dilapidated rundown
listen, I'm not
buildings.
denying that there's some good things that you do for the country.
I'm a net positive for the country, and paying more taxes would not help anybody.
Paying a fair... Yes, it would, because it would make it so that the
But
poorer
they
people
don't
in
use it for that
society...
anyway.
Yes, they do, because they pay a lot of the government expenditures in benefits for the poorer people in society.
Yeah, I think that you're naive again. I think a lot of this...
That's not naive, that's a fact.
No,
the
no,
government spend a large portion of their money on
The
social
fact that
security.
you think that people would live a better life, the fact that you think that if I didn't do my clever loopholes, that my little bit would actually be going into the pockets of...
Well, it
is
would if
naive.
every single millionaire couldn't do this tax
Who
avoidance.
makes the rules?
The government.
Correct. Why do you think they put loopholes in place?
Well, I don't agree with the loopholes that they have
No,
in
but why do you
place.
think they do it? Because they
in part to benefit
use
them. In part to benefit them, yes.
Correct.
That's why we need an ethical and transparent government.
Which we don't have.
I agree with the fact that we need more transparency
agree
in government.
then.
But
Finally.
But with that transparency, we also need everyone to be paying their fair share. And you're not paying your fair share, and I'm sure you can acknowledge that.
I'm paying too much.
That's not your fair share, though.
Next year, my plan is to pay nothing.
That's awful. You can't. How can you say that's a good thing?
I want to pay nothing.
That's not a good thing. That's
It is though,
awful.
because I also have Samuel Leeds Foundation,
Mhm.
where I give a lot of money to charity,
Okay.
because I know that I want to be able to help people how I want to help them, not give it to the government and rely on the government to help people. I don't trust them.
You shouldn't just blindly distrust the government in the same way you shouldn't
Not
just blindly
blindly.
trust the government.
It's due to the fact, like we just agreed, they
Well-
make the rules deliberately to benefit them, and then what you're saying is let's just trust them. No,
What I'm saying is that we need more transparency in government, yes, but we can't have that or any other positive schemes like building more council houses and stopping the inequality this country faces without everyone paying their fair share. And you're bragging about not wanting to pay your fair share, and I don't think that's right.
I'm not bragging about it. I'm one of the very few wealthy people that are actually being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Most wealthy people do exactly what I do, but they just do it quietly. Whereas I'm saying, here's what I'm doing.
No, I
Here's
don't.
how
I
you
don't.
can do
I
it,
don't.
Joe.
I don't dispute that most people are doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
but I don't think they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Because
But,
if you're benefiting from this country, you should pay your fair share into this country.
But whether you agree with that or not, all I'm doing is what everyone's doing, but I'm just telling other people
But
how
that's
to
not.
do
That doesn't make it right. It's.
it. But I think it is right because I don't trust the government. But regardless of that, all I'm doing is just showing people how they can do it too.
It just feels like bordering on conspiracy theory to just blindly say the government's all taking all your money and they're not spending it on
It's not
anything useful
conspiracy
for the
theory.
country, because they are spending it on
It's-
things that are useful for our
Yeah,
country.
it's not conspiracy theory. It's years and years of being in business and first-hand.
Yeah, experience is useful, but also we need to look at the facts as well on top of
course.
experience.
Of course.
And the fact is that
The
our
facts
country
are-
can't function without millionaires paying their fair share.
So why are they making so many leave?
How do you think millionaires should be prevented from leaving? How do you think that the government should entice millionaires to stay?
By not penalising them on taxes. Because they'll just leave. They are. More are leaving
Oh,
right
yeah.
now than ever.
I know.
Because
it's,
of the
It's one of the
taxes.
highest rate in the world.
So here's the
rates
thing,
in
right?
the
Here's the thing,
world.
right? I pay millions of pounds in tax.
Mhm.
I employ loads of people.
Mhm.
Yet I am constantly looked at with suspicion, raised eyebrows, skepticism, interrogation.
Probably because you talk about the ways you avoid tax.
Okay, but that's what everybody does. But the point is, no one says to me, thank you for paying millions of pounds in tax. Thank you for providing loads of jobs. Thank you for providing hundreds of units for accommodation for tenants.
Why do you don't do it for being thanked though? You do it out of service to the country that is giving you the opportunity to thrive economically.
Maybe I don't do it to be thanked.
You shouldn't
Okay.
do it to be thanked.
Oh yeah, but if you do something that's a great service, if you work for years and years, 120 hours a week, from nothing, can provide hundreds of homes for people and pay millions of pounds in tax and employ dozens and dozens of people and give them jobs, isn't it a little bit awkward to not even have a Christmas card from the government? Thanks for that. Thanks for those millions.
Well, let's use your example, right? You say that the tenant and the landlord, that's an equal exchange of service.
Fair exchange, yes.
So you and the government, is that not a fair exchange of service
No.
based on the fact that this country has afforded you so many
No, because
opportunities
the
to thrive economically?
The government are my unwanted business partner. I have to give them 50% and they do nothing.
Let's not describe the government as like some mystical force. Let's talk about it as the people of this country, because that's ultimately where the tax money does go to. Do you not agree with that?
Goes to where?
The people of this country.
No.
It goes to fund things that are in their interest, such as benefits,
No, it
such
goes
as
to fund
roadworks.
wars. It funds...
Or defence.
I think there's $1 billion a year that goes in to fund illegal immigration.
$1 billion a year
Yeah.
when you're getting paid $1 trillion,
But then
over
you're
$1
worried
trillion in
about me
revenue.
saving a few million on my taxes when they send $1 billion to house illegal immigrants.
There's no easy fix for illegal immigration.
No, there's not. It's very complex. It's very sad.
That £1 billion spent on illegal immigration is a temporary fix, and right now the government's
It's
introducing
not
a permanent.
temporary though.
Well, it is, because right now the government's introducing a permanent fix where they make a deal with France.
That's what
so
they're
one in,
talking
one
about.
out. Well, that's what they announced. Keir Starmer
And I
Macron.
really hope, and it's very complex,
Hmm.
and it's very sad when
Yeah.
people come in and they're fleeing all kinds of horrible situations.
Wars.
It's very, very, very
abuse.
sad. But I bring it up because you said that taxes are used to help people in this country, and no, $1 billion's going to illegal immigration.
$1 billion sounds like a lot, but in terms of government expenditure, it's really not significant.
Yeah, true. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not huge.
Mhm.
To say $1 billion's not a lot.
I know,
Is a bit
yeah.
crazy.
I'm talking relatively here.
Oliver, I really appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice discussion.
Good one. That was great.
Well done.
You were really good,
Thank
mate.
you.
Really, really good. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to hopefully doing it again in a few years. And if you do want any help with anything, or with your landlord situation,
Yeah.
hit me up, man. You got me on Instagram, yeah?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's all.
Have we covered your expenses yet?
Covered your expenses.
Have we covered your expenses?
I don't know.
You
I've
should
sent
be
you my
details.
bank details.
Okay,
so-
done today. All right.
Well,
Have a
thank
safe
you.
trip back. Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you.
I'll just grab a quick post.
Nice guy.
Clever.
Yeah, nice guy.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing, mate?
Not bad, you?
Matt, right?
Mateus, yeah.
Oh, Mateus.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. I'm just nipping it for a quick wee in a minute because
go for it.
yeah, but good to see you, man.
This is nice and cosy, isn't it?
It is. It is. Remind me what we were debating. We were talking about. Let me see if I can remember. My training courses,
Yes.
the compliance and regulation stuff being taught,
Yes.
deal sources and rent-to-renters giving the industry a bad name
Yeah.
by being rubbish,
Yeah.
and me being their trainer, maybe being partly to blame, possibly. Was that?
That's particularly, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'd actually, I'm not going to go to the toilet. I reckon we can go straight. But I wouldn't mind. Are these both my waters?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you need anything? Are you okay?
All good on my side?
All right, great. Let me check this on.
Yeah, so you can come in and out.
Have we got an next guy here? We've got after this, or is it?
I haven't seen anyone.
No.
I'm just going to do a quick post interview.
All right, mate. You have a chat with Oliver, yeah? Have you guys travelled together? Have you?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Harry, real pleasure to meet you, man. I'm Samuel. Hi.
Long day for you?
No, not really. It's pretty chill, to be honest.
Nice.
Mateus, right?
Mateus or Matt? You can call me Matt if it's easier.
Matt. All right, nice one.
Save your oxygen.
Nice one. And you did some of my training, right? I need to check out what.
I did,
programs you
yeah.
though.
So I bought the lease option agreement and rent to rent.
The rent to rent. Which one?
Oh, I don't know.
How much do you pay?
I think I bought two of them in a deal. At the time, you were selling them online, and you had a special offer, and I think it was
really?
50% off for two if you choose more than one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. And was it like rent to rent? How to get landlords? Was that the program?
So rent to rent was particularly the breakdown of rent to rent, what it is, and then obviously you went into using it as a service accommodation,
Yeah.
and then you broke it down of obviously using the
Did
contracts
you
and
get any
stuff.
rent-to-rents?
So I got free, funny enough, I got free, and then we've had some issues with the landlord, and then obviously they pulled out. So yeah,
sorry,
but
man.
it's all right. But I've got one buy to let, and my girlfriend's got one buy to let as well in Carlisle. So we're starting out this year. So
Right. Well, if you need any help off camera, we
of course, yeah, absolutely, no, absolutely, thank you.
All right, man. Coolio. Are we good?
Yeah. Yeah.
I might give this one an intro, man. I forgot to give it a last one. Should I do an intro for the last guy as well, and then an intro for this one? Because we'll be putting these out as separate videos, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Let's lower the mic a little bit this time.
Like that.
Still pointing at your mouth, but just a little bit lower in your chest so it doesn't cover your face.
Ah, got ya. Are we good? Are we good? All right. So I'm going to pretend I'm about to do the debate with Oliver. Yeah. All right. Good. Hopefully you can't see my guy Matt, can you, on that camera? No.
Yeah,
all
sure.
right. Good.
Okay, perfect.
My name is Samuel Leeds, and right now I'm about to sit down with a socialist who wants to debate me on landlordism, on taxes, on politics, and on Keir Starmer. Enjoy. Yeah? And then I'll do the same for this. In fact, I might do it after, because depending on how it goes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All right, good. So, did you want to just tell me first, like, summarise what made you want to debate with me and sit with me?
Yeah, so the obviously we've taken part of your crash course, attending a couple of them, then doing your training, and obviously taking the property that you teach is great, and obviously taking that and applying it to the real world, and then obviously realising the gaps from the training to the real life scenarios, and obviously the differences between what really happens and then what obviously is taught on the course.
You say that, though. Yeah, that's so. Okay, I mean, that doesn't sound like a debate. That sounds more like feedback, bro. I'd pay you for this kind of gold. We literally pay mystery shoppers for this kind of information. But yeah, was there anything else? So firstly, there was, because it might be that you tell me stuff and I just go, that sounds really good. Write it down.
And then take it on board.
Maybe.
And a run.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know if is that a debate or is that feedback?
Well, the debate, the other part, the additional part to that is trying to make you think of the responsibility that you have within the training, obviously from the legal standpoint, the risks your students are exposed to, and then selling the ultimate dream, knowing that obviously not a lot of people are made for entrepreneurship and then running their own business.
That would be more of a debate.
Yeah.
But we can talk about both. What year did you come to the crash course?
Oh God, I think it was end of 2023, and then I attended one in Manchester in 2024.
Oh wow,
approximately, yeah.
Because I think I am pretty raw with how difficult it is. I say at every crash course, it's hard being fat, it's hard being slim. Did you hear me that one?
Yeah, I did hear that one. Yeah, I heard that one.
No,
Yeah.
I've got my things I say at every crash course. So I say, for context of anyone who's not been at a crash course, I say being fat is hard. Because you're overweight, you're out of shape, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But being slim is hard. Being married is hard. Being single is hard.
Course,
Everything's
absolutely.
really hard. Life's a frigging struggle.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Horribly hard. We're not meant to. There is no quick way. Life's hard. And then I say, guess what? It's hard having a job.
Yeah,
And it's hard being poor.
yeah.
And it's also really hard having a business.
Absolutely.
And it's hard. It's tough. Right, so I say that at every crash course, and I also say loads of it. That's just one example of part of my script. So I always say, and the reason I say that is to set the expectations. Because I might do a video where you'll definitely have a point is if you take a video from a TikTok video where I go, I'm standing outside this property and I rent it for $1,000, but then I rent it out for $3,000. It makes me $1,000 a month, clean profit.
Yeah.
Boom. And then that you might be able to legitimately argue, oh, well, that doesn't show the hardships and the horrible rejection. But it's like, it doesn't, but it's also a 20-second video.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can't cover. Now, where it might be a little bit different going to the course is when you say, oh, the course didn't cover everything. In my opinion, it should.
Yeah.
The course should cover it. If it's an advanced course, if you sign up for a course on deal sourcing, you should learn the A to Z, absolute everything. If you do a course on buy, refurbish, refinance, lease options, for example, you've done that program,
I've done that
right?
one. Yeah, I've done that one.
If you do an advanced course, that needs to cover the A to Z. That can't be a quick overview or a quick. That needs to be A to Z. And I'm always adding stuff and trying to, and I'm always open to feedback and listening to people. So that 100%. And at the crash course, I think I'm pretty raw and real, really, with like, look, this is hard, but it's worth it.
I think when you're in a room full of people and obviously you come on stage and everyone's there for a reason because obviously you marketed it and they want to see you. When you say by a comment saying everything's hard, being fat's hard, being slim's hard, but then when everything happens in the moment and then you take the principle of saying find me a deal and then calling a estate agent and being rejected on stage and going just call another one and selling that aspect, like just keep it moving forward, etc. But I feel like at face value, it comes across as easy. I don't know if it's just me reading it or, but it comes across as easy the way you do it. But obviously when you're out in the real world and you do trial and error it yourself, it is more difficult so than ever. But also it ruins the reputation of a lot of other people. Like I've just this year only got into rent-to-rents and service accommodation because I used to manage hotels. And then trying to like secure rent-to-rents, you make 100 calls and all the estate agents are saying company lets, we don't do them. And I've started doing some research saying, why does no one do them anymore? And then a lot of estate agents said, oh, we've been burnt, we've had issues, we had this. And I was like, right, okay. So then I've done your course again on the rent-to-rent. So like, am I missing something? I've went through your script and everything like that. And yeah, I think when people get the rent-to-rent, the property that you teach of doing it, makes sense, but when people get it, I think the sustainability of keeping it and taking care of the guests if they do essays, structure of the business, behind the scenes of all of that to make it glue together, that's where the issue arises.
I don't totally disagree with you, and it is hard. And you know what? It is horrible as well being rejected.
Oh,
and you did the online training, right?
Yes.
Which is like. Pre-recorded videos.
Yes.
Some of our training is live. It might be live on Zoom where we're doing it and listening to their calls and it is a bit easier. Like when you're at home on your own in your kitchen and you pick up the phone and they just go, no, we don't do comments. It feels like, ooh.
It's a different environment.
And it, depending on your nature.
Of course.
That can crush you.
Absolutely.
Being rejected.
100%.
But I think the thing is, it's a bit relative because when you say, is it hard or is it easy? You make it look too easy. It's like, firstly, I used to be an estate agent, right? You used to work in hotels. I think you said you used to work in hotels.
Yeah, I used to help manage them. Yeah.
When I was an estate agent, I had to do 100 dials a day, right? Not speak to 100 people. I said make 100 dials. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dials. I would typically find 1 in 3 would answer. That's 30 conversations.
Yeah.
In a day. Every day, 6 days a week, and my salary was 12 grand.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
If people worked as hard on their business as they do on their job, if you said, you know what, I know I'm going to get rejected, but actually, I'm just going to treat it like an actual business. Where I think people get really like disillusioned is when, and I hope I don't give this impression because I wouldn't want to, is where you think, oh, I can just make a couple calls, get a deal, easy peasy. Nah. This is a business. Not just the getting the deal, the managing it.
Yeah.
Everything. It's an actual business. It's not passive income tomorrow way. Passive income's real, but it takes time. It's hard.
Yeah.
You've got to hustle. And I'd like to think I say that really authentic and whatnot, but I'm open to, if you think no, actually, I think
I think from that standpoint, when you obviously talk about the business hardship, obviously like crash courses, you mention it and then you carry on with the whole presentation. Maybe you emphasize it in the Deal Academy course that the academy that you have where you pay 13,000 and obviously you guys are in the room together. Maybe that's emphasized. I don't know because I've never been in it, so I can't criticize on that part.
I mean, the academy is just ridiculously good. It's just, but the thing is as well, like if I bang on about how hard, it's really hard, it's not for most people, you know. I actually find a lot of people that become successful say that to put people off. They become successful and then, I had to work really. You wouldn't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's like climbing to the ladder and then kicking the ladder away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? It is hard. It's horribly hard. But it depends how do you find hard? It depends what you want to achieve. If you want to achieve $5 grand a month, and you could literally work for 6 months, get a few rent-to-rents, and get a bit, and be making $5 grand a month. Sell a deal a month as well, bit of deal. You could very comfortably be making 10 grand a month within 6 to 12 months. And have a far easier life than you would if you worked in Sainsbury's. I really genuinely believe that from the bottom of my heart.
The 5 to 10 grand, maybe I'll disagree slightly on. Obviously within the 6 to 12 months. From the experience and also the understanding of how it's portrayed, the finding when you do deal sourcing, for example, obviously the course that you sell, when you go into finding an investor, building that trusting connection, being compliant, and making sure you know the legality and stuff, that takes a lot more process than it's portrayed. And also,
I don't think it does. I disagree with that.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because obviously from people who are in academy, obviously they're into your network, which obviously you find a deal, you guys do your due diligence on the massive sheet you give out, and then obviously you forward it to your investors and everything's sold, you take your cut or whatever. So that seems a lot easier for someone, but someone who's just doing like online course, who comes to a crash course, doesn't do your academy because like, I want to dabble my feet in, and then does it, and that, you know,
It's harder.
Yeah, it's harder.
It is. And the thing is, the academy is 11,997, right?
Yeah.
12 grand. So it's a lot, but you get a load of help and access to networking community, and it's a lot easier. Fine. And then the courses are like 995, 997 or so. It's about £1,000, maybe. Depends on the course or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But you're talking maybe about that. How much did you spend with us? About £1,000?
Roughly about that, yeah.
So you spent about £1,000.
Yeah, something
So
like
obviously, you're not going to get your hand held. You're not going to get. We're not going to be selling you deals for you and partnering with you because you paid £1,000.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be a profitable business if we did that. But the courses are there to give you the training.
Of course.
Now, a couple of points that you've said that I find interesting, which we can maybe debate or discuss. So the first one is about rent to rent getting harder because people are messing up, and the landlords all being like, "Oh, we don't do it because people are messing up." There's truth in that, but I've found the flip side as well.
Which is?
The flip side is a few years ago when I started teaching service accommodation and rent to rent stuff like that, no one had heard of it. It's a bit weird, and like even mortgage companies would say, "You can't do service accommodation. We don't get it." Now there's so many more lenders that will let you do service accommodation. I'm sure you know this because right. There's so many lenders that will let you do service accommodation with rent to rents. Or if you want to find a rent to rent, I'm going to give a little cheeky little hack right now to all the listeners. you can go on Rightmove, go on the keyword, and type in corporate let, company let, and there'll be loads of properties that are literally advertised, and in the description it says company lets available.
Oh, okay.
Right, it's couldn't be easier. People are so some people are catching on because what's happening is it's becoming more well known.
Yeah.
Now some people might be like, "Oh, I know about it and don't like it." Fine, but there's a whole bunch of other people that know about it and want it.
Yeah.
With service accommodation mortgages, now mortgage companies get it instead of being like, "What? Huh? Service what?
What is that?"
Yeah. Now they're like, "Oh, we know what service accommodation is. We either do it or we don't." There's people that do, there's people that don't. And I think now what's happening is letting agents and landlords is more getting to the point of they either do it or they don't. More people are aware of it. Whereas 5 years ago, when you rang up to try and get a rent to rent, they'd be like, "What? Huh?" And you have to explain it. So I think what's happening is it's just changing a bit.
Okay.
I mean, listen, that's my perception.
Of course.
And there's no black or white or, there's thousands and thousands of landlords. But like when we ran a program online actually a few weeks back, and it was like a 4-day financial freedom challenge.
Yeah. I think I saw that actually.
Yeah, probably. And there was people like ringing landlords. I said, "You've got 45 minutes. I want you to call as many landlords as you can, as many agents as you can." And there's people going, "Oh, there was one girl, right? True story. She got 12 rent to rents.
Jesus.
In like 45 minutes. Now that was not normal. That was a record, but lots of people got 2 or 3. So I'm like, yeah, it's difficult because you can get rejected.
Of course.
But it's just, of course it's difficult. And I say that from the very beginning, at the very front end of my programs and funnels. Even now I'm putting this out. Like, I don't want people to think, "Oh, it's really easy and you'll get rich really quick." And it's like, no, it's a hustle. So I think that. And the second thing is about the bad people messing it up.
Yeah.
That's why they need training.
Yeah.
If they watch a quick YouTube video but don't actually attend any of the training and they have a bash and they do it wrong, that's not my fault. I do advocate that people get trained properly.
Yeah.
And then there's the compliance stuff. Now, you say there's stuff missing in the course. I'd love to know what's missing. And if there is stuff missing, I'll put it in. I really will. But, I mean, geez, I teach. I'm a full-time law student.
Yeah. I've heard about that. Yeah.
I've got full-time lawyers that work in-house that check all of our contracts, all of our training every year. If I'm doing something wrong or if I'm missing something, tell me, man. But like, I'm kind of hot when it comes to that stuff. So that's basically where I'm coming from. So I don't know if you want to.
So with the rent to rent, I think to not get it confused, from the property standpoint, the knowledge of understanding what a rent to rent is, lease option agreements, etc. You sell it really well and you teach it really well. That I don't deny. I think where the missing part of the training is, which a lot of people get bit on, is the structure of the business, operating it as a business. Same if like they get a rent-to-rent and run service accommodation. I've heard nightmares of different investors who have worked with people and never had the training of the back end. So guest communication, being able to structure it properly, that becomes an absolute nightmare for landlords, and obviously relationships get ruined completely and out the door. That also affects people because if they get 3 or 5 rent-to-rents, obviously that's a nice cash flow you get. Obviously, if they quit their job and then after 6 months, due to the lack of care of customers and the structure of the business, etc., they could liquidate. Yeah. And then now they're open with nothing and go, what went wrong? So I think when obviously you selling I think as a person of power and responsibility, because you do have a voice, I think if you incorporated business training, then property training, incorporate them together for people to prevent going into that cycle of bankruptcy, of being left, in debt or anything like that, to then be able to help them scale and grow.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you think there should be more training on business setup,
just in business operations in general? So obviously selling's really difficult, but it's once you master it, it's easier over time. A lot of people don't know how to sell. Same thing, a lot of people don't know how to communicate with customers at all. When there's a query, I know from experience working in hotels, if there's an issue and they're staying in your hotel, same as your Airbnb, it's your responsibility to get it fixed there and then. But you'd be surprised how many people have no care whatsoever in that space specifically, where they'll go, they'll say, no, that's fine, not my problem. And then people constantly get bad reviews. And over time, Airbnb alone will shut the page down if it's really negative.
Have you done out of interest? And bro, I will watch and go through all of my courses and the modules with this lens in mind.
Yeah.
And of course, take feedback on. I love feedback. But have you done like a service accommodation training?
It was not specifically service accommodation training, but it led to the one that I bought had rent to rent, had service accommodation. I think it had about 3 or 4 chapters in it at the time.
So it might have been like because we've got like a whole course on specifically on.
Oh, okay.
Because we do go into quite a lot of detail on customer care and stuff like that. And that's the thing as well. I've got a lot of courses. So I've got a whole course on avoiding catastrophes in business and property.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole course on what to avoid and the personal guarantees, and there's a whole course on that. I've got a whole course on joint ventures and raising finance, how to structure joint ventures, alphabetic shares, directors loan agreements. So it might be that it's there, but it's in a different pot. Maybe we could have like a mandatory basics of business, which gets tagged in for free to every course.
Yeah. Well, the idea that I thought obviously might work to obviously help improve the service and make it better and make it so people
into a pitch. Went from a debate
to
a pitch.
I know what's happening.
What is going on here?
But
is that your 24? Is that your company as well?
No, this is my friends. This is my friends. This is my friend's company. But no, so with the sorry, I was trying to thought there.
You were saying what could make it better?
Yeah, so if you had, obviously, when you sell it on crash course days, obviously that becomes a massive selling point for your courses, which is fine. But I think if you had the mandatory list of, right, this is what you have to complete before you even consider doing property. A lot of people I don't know if you know Hard School of Knocks or something like that on YouTube. The guy that walks around questioning millionaires and billionaires.
What do you do for a living? Yeah, I've seen him.
So a lot of people that he interviews, they don't give a helping hand. They go, I need you to do this before you can do this, kind of thing. So if you had something incorporated where it goes, right, before you get onto the property, you need to understand business. Absolutely. I think people would
we do that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For example, we say, come to a crash course first. And then when you come to a crash course, we say, it's going to be really hard, by the way. Everything's hard. Is that not, in a way, kind of qualifying them and telling and saying, before you do a program, let us, like if someone wants to do our academy, they go through a whole interview process.
The academy part, I didn't know. But obviously 73%.
If they're going to spend $995 or $997 on a course to learn, like you wanted to learn about rent to rents.
Of course.
Done a crash course, paid £1, watched some YouTube videos, free, got the basics. Well, I don't know, you might have already been really experienced. You know, I don't know.
Of course,
but for most people. So They've got all this free stuff that I'm paying videographers, I'm putting programmers on,
Class.
I'm putting stuff out to give them all the basics, and then they'll go, right, now I want to learn the advanced, how to, run this whole business. Like 997, I mean, it's a big investment.
Yeah.
It is. But what you think we should say, well, hang on, I know you've been on the crash course and you've done this and you know the basics and you know it works and I'm giving you all that for free, but before you do 997, hold on. I need to check that you're sane and a responsible adult and you've got no criminal record. Like, what are the questions that you would ask?
The idea of questions I don't know exactly on as well.
No, but you came here to help me, bro.
Of course, yeah, of course. So,
because this is
I
it.
think
This is
obviously
where it
the Britain's population, obviously 73% of them are financially illiterate.
Yeah.
So when you're in a room like yourself, obviously very energetic and a great salesman, by the way, but people get hooked in on that and then they emotionally make decisions. So
but every decision is emotional. No one buys anything ever unless it's emotional.
of course, absolutely. But
So-
then are you not? Is that not taking advantage of someone?
Well, that would say that would say that every business and every would be taking advantage. What would be taking advantage if you sold something and didn't deliver, or if you sold something with no recourse? Then that fine. But I mean, with our programs, we say with our financial freedom challenges, which are $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
do it, and if you're not happy at the end, we'll give you your money back. I mean, it's kind of.
Is that an actual thing? Do people?
People don't ask for it because it's brilliant, but they could.
Would you not, to make it more clear to everyone, would that not make it more stronger point for you to include in your marketing?
It is. It's on our website and our T's and C's.
But is it at face value presented to people saying, look, by the way, if this fails, we'll give you money back? Or is it T's and C's, if you read them, you'll be able to get them?
No, we tell everybody.
Oh.
Maybe not, to be fair, when you came. Maybe not.
Because at the time, that wasn't, obviously, that's why I'm making my point. Obviously,
To be
it's been...
fair, I'm always growing and improving.
Of course, yeah.
So it might be, if you did it a couple... Was it 2023, you said?
2023, yeah.
Yeah, it might be that, I mean, in a couple of years. We weren't doing that, actually, in 2023. That's,
Right, okay, so
that
that's
is
a new
newer-
improvement.
That is a new thing.
That's
And I don't
fair.
expect you to know all the ins and outs of my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
don't
of
know all
course,
the
no,
ins and outs.
absolutely, yeah.
You know, you're not going to have gone to every up-to-date thing. And, had a private investigator on me and read every single page of the website.
No,
But
that's
we
too
do
much
that.
money to be spent
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly. No, we do that. Yeah, we well, and also, like, people that buy are really happy. Our customers are, I mean, we had a survey with the whole of every single customer that ever bought from us in 2024, just last year. Beginning of 2025, we sent them a survey
Okay.
to everybody. And I'm going to let you guess.
Never got one.
Oh, yeah, but you didn't buy in 2024.
Oh, no, I
remember,
didn't know,
yeah?
did I? No, yeah.
So for that year, they all got a survey, and what percentage, and this is verified by a lawyer, and this is my opinion. I've actually got a company coming on board who are a very well-known company that specialise in collecting data, who I'm bringing in, because some people might not even believe my figures. Oh, of course you say that. Right?
Of course, yeah.
But these are the facts, and this is what
Yeah,
the statistics, these are the stats. What percentage of people do you think asked for a refund because they weren't happy with the course in the whole of 2024? What percentage of our customers?
I guess 20%.
0.2.
Oh, wow. That's a big, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
a very low number.
It is. I mean, so I'm not perfect. The industry's not perfect.
Of course.
There's people that are rubbish and do make a bad.
Yeah.
I can always update the training, and I do regularly.
Yeah.
Even last week on my mastermind with the academy members, I'm like asking their opinions and stuff and telling them to message me how we can improve. I'm always trying to improve. But I mean, I think we had 4 people last year ask for a refund on the academy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's so staggeringly low.
Yeah.
And if someone's asking for a refund because they've had, some massive disaster or whatever, or even if they just had to change circumstances, we'll often pause their membership or what. We're a pretty compassionate company, not perfect. But yeah, I mean, geez, I'm just like, you're in property, I'm in property. I'm running a training business, just getting a lot of results. Do I have a 100% success rate? No. But
So do you know how many people, obviously not a lot of people ask for refunds based on the course you provide. Do you know the success rate between how many people come on board and actually become quote unquote financially free?
Yeah.
And what would that percentage be?
So our last graduation
Mm.
on our academy, so the people that have completed the 12 months,
Okay.
yeah, so they've invested a lot, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
They've been
of course,
through a
yeah.
whole 12 month. 86% of people were making $2,000 a month or more
Oh wow.
in property, in addition to what they were making when they joined. Because some of them, when they joined, were already making money.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, which is obviously not 100%, but it's staggeringly high.
Yeah. So clearly, from your past, I hope you don't mind me bringing it up, from all the lawsuits, from I think 15 lawsuits you had in the past.
No,
Um,
no, we didn't.
No, not you being sued. I mean, you suing other people
Oh,
based
okay, yeah,
on the
yeah.
opinions of defamation, etc.
Sure, sorry. I thought
Um,
you meant people suing us.
No. And obviously, like the concept was in 2024 when your lawsuit with Burgess, I think it was the 6 million lawsuit, was obviously dismissed based on no merit.
Sure, I mean that's a live case, so I can't talk about
Okay,
it.
that's fair, yeah.
Because it's a live case.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I
Absolutely.
can talk generally about me and my principles, but I won't go into specifics of
No,
specific
absolutely, yeah,
cases. But I'll say, yeah, we've sued people.
Yeah.
And we've also, pressed charges against people and taken people to court at times if there's people that have been harassing or defaming or
Of course.
maliciously communicating to members of my family, and
Yeah.
we have, and that's obviously not pleasant.
No, that's the last
I
thing.
mean, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
I like it when we win.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't
You
waste
know?
money on
And
lawyers.
some of those cases we've settled.
Okay.
In the end.
Yeah.
And it's just if we're suing somebody who's not really got that much money, it's going on.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah.
We've settled in some of those cases. We have bankrupted people. Do I enjoy that? There's an element of justice to it.
Of course,
We've
yeah.
had people.
Karma.
We've had people. I mean, I probably can name names if it's not a live case. There was screw it. It's not a live case. There's a guy called Ryan James who was part of that. I don't want to be naming people.
Of course, yeah.
But there was a guy called Ryan James, and he was defaming me, and he was talking nonsense, and he was messaging my wife and harassing and saying all kinds of nasty stuff and disgusting things.
Oh wow.
And we pressed charges for malicious communications. It went to court. We won. I say we won because it was a criminal court.
Yeah.
But he lost.
I can imagine.
and he's now got a criminal record. He had to pay fines, and he's doing community service and stuff.
Yeah, I think taking a step where your family's involved is.
But
is
that's
too
only when
far,
I've ever
yeah.
done it. Anyone that I've sued is when they have really passed the
Crossed
line.
the line.
If someone's got an opinion about me, bro, I love it. If someone does a video about me and says, there was a guy called Jason K, right? He did a video. He came to my crash course and he didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
And he did an expose video. And he basically said it was rubbish.
Fair.
Right? I watched the video.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was particularly, if I'm honest, I didn't agree with what he was saying. Obviously.
Of course, yeah.
It's my program.
Slandering, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want to do.
But what he basically said was it was quite basic. Didn't really learn that much. It was all right, but it wasn't great. But it was a really hard sell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it wasn't that hard. And people were rushing to sign up, and no, I didn't like that, and it felt pressury. And I watched the video, and I thought, I don't really agree with him. Because the thing is, everything's a bit subjective when it comes to that. Well,
Yeah.
there's an element that's not. Like, if you pressure sell,
Yeah.
if I say to you, register right now, and if you don't, the prices are going to go up tomorrow, and and say things that aren't true. Or if I say there's only one space left, sign. And
I'm
it's
pretty
like,
sure you used to do that in the past, though.
no, but it's about what it was. If I'm buying a hotel room on Booking.com, you're in the hotel business, and it says there's 5 spaces.
Yeah.
That's fine. If there is 5 spaces.
And as well, yeah.
So if I'm selling, I go, look, we got 30 spots.
Yeah.
I can only take 30 people from this room. Well, if that's true, because they're coming to a program and we have got so many spaces,
Course.
I might be using that as a look, guys,
As
creating a bit
marketing,
of
yeah.
urgency. But is that not what every business does? Is that not what Booking.com do when they say
Yeah,
one
I
room
suppose,
left? Right. So the question is if it's true or not.
Yeah.
If it's not true, then it's pressure selling.
Yeah.
Because you're now, and it's against trading standards. People say, the training business is not regulated. It is, because if I break trading standards, I'm done. I'm cooked.
Yeah.
If I pressure sell, if I lie, if I mislead somebody, I'm cooked. I'm done.
And how often does that regulator comes in and checks over your business?
Oh, I don't know how often because they're not necessarily going to come and tell me.
Announce it, yeah.
They might come if someone reports me or whatever.
Got you.
But every time we've ever been looked at, which we have,
Yeah.
we've always been open to learn, but we've always been clean. I've never been doing anything wrong. Even with my taxes, if a tax man comes and investigates me, I remember one time, tax man came and I'm like, oh jeez,
I can imagine.
investigates me. Spent about 2 weeks, and it ended up that I actually overpaid by 150 quid. So yeah, me money.
No way.
So it's good. But
That's a nice little check.
but my point is, this guy doing this video. Listen, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just selling my stuff. I'm selling my stuff. I believe in my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing a sale. He didn't like it. He felt pressured. We're in Britain. We don't like sales. He didn't like the fact that I said there's 30 spots, sign up. He felt pressured. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
He's already in property. He's got a letting agency. Property professionals tend to be a bit, right? So he ends up doing this big video. And I'm like, geez, I don't like that video. Yeah. And I thought, man, how am I going to respond to this? And I watched the video and I thought, you know what? Nothing he said was defamatory,
Yeah.
right? Because defamatory is when someone says something that's damaging and untrue.
Yeah.
If he says, I felt pressured, Samuel did a big sale and I felt pressured and
Yeah.
people were all, right, well, that's true. He felt pressured.
It is, yeah.
If he said, Samuel lied, Samuel said there's only 30 spaces, but that's a lie. Now I can go after him and go, actually, we've got proof that it, right? So anyway, so I thought, fair enough, I'm going to leave the video.
Yeah.
But then it gets worse.
Oh, no.
It gets worse. Then this guy, Jason K, comes down as a guest to one of our academy events and he does a video. I'm going into one of Samuel's academy events because you can be invited as a guest pass.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a video about it. And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Not one of them.
But then, yeah, he's going to expose.
Yeah.
But you know what I thought? Nah. I thought, come. You ain't going to have nothing. Because we're brilliant. So he went and he joined the academy.
Oh, wow.
Paid 12,000. And now he's been on the academy 6 months. And he's done another video saying, oh my gosh. Turned out he was with Touchstone Education previously.
Oh, okay. Never heard.
Got yeah, they're a bit. I don't want to defame them.
Competitors.
Yeah, competitors, but
Yeah.
yeah. But he got burned.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I hated it. I felt robbed. And then when I came to the crash course, it reminded me.
Yeah.
And that's why I did the video. But actually, when I went and joined the academy, it's amazing. So it's like, yeah, I think, not if you're everyone's cup of tea, you're going to be a mug.
Yeah.
But do I sell? Yes. Am I good at it? Yes. But do I deliver? Yes.
Yeah.
Am I perfect? No. Are my courses perfect? No. Am I always learning and trying to improve them? Yes. Have I changed since 2023? Yeah, I have.
By the sounds of it, yeah, I wasn't expecting any of this. So
Why not?
No, so obviously because last
What
time
were you
I
expecting
attended,
then? What do you
so
think I was going to say?
I wasn't expecting there were so many changes made towards it, with everything obviously in depth,
Right.
and the amount of feedback you took on board. As I said to you guys previously, I was like, I'm coming here with an open mind, and if I can at the end agree, then that's fine. That's also fine
and
with me.
I
do you know what
don't
I mean?
disagree with anything. All you're doing is just questioning, challenging, making me
Yeah,
think.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Seeing the amount of changes you've applied and moved forward and constantly took feedback on board, I think that's a shot. It's a good sign from your behalf. Constantly improving and making it better. So fair play.
Yeah, and it's tough, man. It's tough business. I'm definitely not perfect, but what I will look at is, man, you're a customer, so you've done some of that training.
Yeah.
So anything I'll take on board and I'll go through. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else or.
No, I think obviously from the legality standpoint and the training standpoint of what was in 2023 that I've experienced to obviously what you have
The only
now.
thing we've not talked about is compliance. You talk about legal stuff missing and compliance and.
Yeah,
anything
good
you
point
wanna say on
actually. So the on one of your rent-to-rents, I've checked as of 2 days ago, when I was going back through my course.
Yeah.
I presume your legal team that you've employed does all the contracts for you, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the Section 7, obviously the contract stated for service accommodation, and then on Section 7 it says only used for residential use only, but isn't service accommodation holiday let a business use? So does that make the
So
contract
my
void?
understanding, and I can get it checked, is that residential property is different. So you could do a company let on a residential property. So I think what it's saying is this is only for residential property. So you can do a company let, which is business,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
on a residential property. But if you wanted to do a company let on a commercial property, like a Class E,
Yeah.
then it would be a different contract.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose that answers.
Yeah.
That answers that. So with just on that point, actually, with the courses you provide online, especially, how often do the legals get updated for people to know?
So generally, our lawyers go over everything once a year.
Yeah.
But also, my team are trained that if anyone messages in, even if it's like a typo or if there's something, I mean, listen, I'm sure there's lots of
Yeah, of
typos
course.
and stuff,
Yeah.
but if
Everyone's
there's
human.
something, if we get feedback, then we update it. So just as and when. So for instance, if you tell me now, oh, there's this and it's wrong,
Yeah.
then I would get that changed immediately. But once a year is when we go over all the contracts, all that, because laws change. Like right now, we've got like the renters reform bill and all
of
this
course.
stuff coming in. But yeah, man. So you've got 3 rent-to-rents that are a bit.
So I had them, and then obviously we have.
Were they making money?
So I got them, and then I spent, I think, 17, 18K, and then literally after a week, the guy came in and was like, "Oh, like we've realised this is against regulations."
Oh, bro.
And I was like, great. So actually, funny enough, it was a deal source that sold me the deal. And then obviously the leasehold, I got told that the leasehold permits them. We can do a company let. We will have the residential, obviously, everything sorted. That was great. So then we signed the company estate agency, sent us the contract. I've read through it. It said, I should have read it thoroughly, to be fair, my fault as well. But it said that it was based for service accommodation. It can only be used for residential, not business. And then it says you can sublet. And then it says you cannot sublet. And then obviously the manager of the building. Yeah, I was honestly mental. And it was one of the deal sources that sold it.
Was this? Did you not use our contracts?
So the guy, I think he's on your course. I don't want to say his name. That's something we can have a discussion afterwards. But I'm pretty sure he done your course, and I think that's where the contract came from originally. But I'm not sure if he had the contract.
That sounds like a rough contract.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one.
And
so
also, you
obviously,
didn't read it.
not thoroughly as far as I should have. So it was obviously part
That's
of
annoying,
them
though,
falls
man.
with me.
But that's a lesson.
of course, yeah,
And
everything is a lesson.
that people can learn from. But I personally, I'm not going to sell right now, but I would love to just sell you on the academy. I'd love to have you on the academy. If you want to join though, bro, if you want to do business and whatever,
Yeah.
I'd love to have you on. You seem like a really great guy.
Thank you.
And I know you seem like you've got a lot of experience and stuff. And yeah, man, I appreciate you coming down though.
No, thank you very much
making
for having
think
me.
And,
No.
you know, I really respect it. And I know you got some business on to take care of in London and that.
Yeah, so I'm going to go see one of our clients, and then I think I'm going to see my accountant tonight, if not.
What's your main business?
So main business now is just property.
You're full time in.
Yeah, so I started in February. Yeah.
You need to get on the academy. No, I'm serious. I am serious.
Yeah. I'll consider it.
Bro, I
What's the refund policy?
I'm gonna get one of my guys to reach out to you and have a chat with you because I don't want to turn this into a sales
Actually,
thing.
funny you mention that. I don't know if this is just going to make the cut, but one of you guys actually tried to contact me.
Yeah.
And I must say, he wasn't a great salesman. He was
Really?
absolutely awful. I said, I'm just about to head out. I can't talk
what's
right
his
now.
name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Find
but
out.
I was meeting my mate Fernando's.
Right.
And then he called me and I was like, look, I'm a bit busy. I can't. He goes, right, I'll call you later. Never called me back.
Maybe
I'll
he
try to
maybe
remind
he
me
didn't
what his
like you.
name was,
Maybe he
but-
didn't like you that much.
I don't know, but he said, are you still interested? I'm interested, but call me back. I'm just heading out. And then he says, right, I'll call you back in like 2-3 hours. And I said, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And
And
then, yeah.
call you. Yeah, bro.
Bit of feedback, not debate, but there you go.
But you know what though? You know why? You know why my salesperson was bad?
Right.
Because we spent all our money and resources on delivery.
Fair.
Because we don't got to sell.
Fair. I suppose the product sells itself, though.
I spend over £1 million a year on mentors.
Jesus.
We've only got a handful of salespeople because it's like,
Yeah.
bro, let's be in touch, all right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
man.
so much. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you for having me.
Joshua. Harry. Harry. Joshua. Harry. Real pleasure, man. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate it. Have we got our next guy?
Yeah, I'll check.
Have we?
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. No, really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, sell me a deal. Yeah, 100%.
Got a portfolio.
Have you? No, let's talk.
It does
man.
actually.
Let's talk, man. All right,
Yeah.
we'll be in touch. I'll get my guy to actually call you. And have
No,
a chat.
please, yeah, if you don't
If
mind,
we can
that'd
do
be
some business, we can do some business. All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much,
All right,
Samuel.
thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it, buddy. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you so much, Harry.
See ya.
Right, next guy. Let's get him on. Pop, 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 pop. See, this is the thing, though, Connor. People. Hey, mate. Hey, mate. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I was just saying, I don't know what you want to debate today, Sam. I was just saying, like, people are going to complain. Here's the thing, Sam. People are going to complain now on YouTube and say, oh, no one asked him the tough questions. Have we met before?
Nope.
I haven't met any of these guys before. How can I help it? People are messaging me. I said yes to everybody. Come. So anyway, good man. Really good to meet you. Whereabouts you come from?
From Guildford today, yeah.
From Guildford.
Yes.
And
So can we get the mic nice and close to your mouth? That's right. So like kind of like, yeah, just lower it down a little bit.
how old are you, Sam?
So like move the arm down,
Oh, sorry.
and then just point it towards your mouth. That's the one.
That good? Bit more?
Yeah, a little bit higher. There you go.
How old are you?
20.
20 years old.
20 years old.
Respect for coming down, man.
No worries.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
So
for having me.
what did you want to? Can we close that door as well, Connor? Sorry, Sam. Thanks. I'll do it in. All right, let me do an intro for the last guy real quick, yeah, and then we can do our thing. Okay. I had a skeptic on Instagram who's actually done some of my training, and he's not happy. And he said he wants to sit down with me, have it out with me, and grill me on my training, on what I'm teaching, and how he thinks it's wrong. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation. Enjoy. Is that all right?
Cool. Yeah, cracking.
All right, cool. I'll do our intro after we finish, so I know what you're going to say. All right, cool, man. So what's going on? What did you want to debate?
Well, I just think landlords like you are the reason we have a housing crisis. And I think it's as simple as that. You buy all the properties, you increase the rent to prices that just regular renters would just struggle to afford.
Do you actually think that, though? Did someone tell you that? And you're here, like...
No, I think
you don't
that
look like you believe that from the heart, bro. You look like someone told you to say that, or what made you come in? Have you got a business or something?
I don't have a business, no, but
right.
I've got past experience. Myself, last year, I was at student flat for university, and I was paying 950 quid a month.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a choice. I had to purchase or rent a house somewhere for university.
Yeah.
And the price was far too extortionate. The landlord wasn't even that helpful. I know not all landlords.
Did you live there yourself, or was
I did, yes.
Did you not choose to pay the rent, though?
I did choose to pay the rent,
So
but I didn't have a choice to, not purchase a house, if that makes sense.
Not rent a house.
Not rent a house, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to live
So you
somewhere
just think
for uni.
it's just too expensive. So the solution probably is to just build more houses.
I think build more houses or just
buy houses that are uninhabitable and turn rundown houses into homes.
I think so.
Which is like what I'm, doing and teaching.
But
So
I
I
feel
think you should be thanking me really and say, you know what, Samuel, I didn't come to debate. I came to say my rent's too expensive, but Samuel, thank you for building houses and for turning rundown buildings into apartments. Because when you bring more supply, you bring down the prices. So Samuel, thank you for adding value to the economy. I think, is that what you're trying to say?
No, but what about other people, like regular buyers, first-time buyers? It's a fact that more than 50% of UK landlords own more than one property. So that concentration of properties that you're owning means there's less properties on the market for regular buyers to purchase. So it's making it more difficult for them.
Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is like having people that come and have a monopoly.
Sort
which
of,
is
yeah,
people
yeah.
that come and just buy up loads of houses. So people like Lloyd's Bank, BlackRock, the big institutions, the companies, not the small private landlords. I think the average landlord owns 3 properties. So the average landlord...
How many do you own?
I own a bit more than 3, but most of my houses that I own, I didn't buy them as buy-to-lets. Oh, I'm going to buy a house and rent it out. I bought them, converted them into a habitable space. So I'm actually supplying houses, and also turned one house into, 4-bedroom to house in multiple occupancy, things like that. So I'm actually adding supply. But I think your real beef probably should be with Lloyd's Bank, who are refusing to loan out money to people that want to get on the property ladder, who are borrowing our money and using it to buy houses and then renting those houses back to us and saying they want to be the largest, not 3, the largest private landlords in Britain. So why don't you see if you can sit down with someone that represents Lloyd's Bank and have it out with them. Because what I'm doing is I'm actually taking houses and providing more affordable accommodation, and then showing normal, ordinary people like you how to get on the property ladder and how to live a good life. I think you need to have it up with Lloyd's Bank, personally.
Okay. All right. Should we talk a bit about your business then?
Yeah, man.
You promote financial freedom to people, but you don't make most of your money from property, do you? You make most of your money from selling your course. Is that correct?
How much? Do you know what? How much money? Do you know how much money I make from my training business versus my property business? Have you been on my company's house and through my reports, or are you just?
I'm asking you the question now.
Last year, I basically broke even on my training business. I was a millionaire before I started teaching.
Okay.
And
yet you're a millionaire, yet still charging people. What? How much do you charge for a course? Like 10 grand, 12 grand? It's a bit more than that.
My most expensive course is 1997. I do have a £12,000 mentorship. Yes. Yeah.
And most of the people in this world don't want to be entrepreneurs. That's
sure.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You push things online. You make it seem like it's a get rich quick scheme, but you make it seem like it's easy, but it's not.
The reason I make it seem like it's easy is because I'm just so good at it. I make property investing look easy, like how David Beckham makes bending a ball look easy. So
but you make it look easy,
yeah,
but it's not easy. So you're charging people, well, however much you said, 10 grand up to, what was the maximum, did you say?
Yeah, 12 grand. But I'm charging 12 grand so that people can learn the skills to play the game like me, and they can also make it look easy.
You're charging for the possibility of people to become financially free.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather learn from a pianist that made making the piano look easy, or that made making it look hard? Are you going to learn from the piano? Are you going to pay the private piano teacher who's going and is rubbish, or the one that's making it look easy? Which one are you going to pay?
Probably one who'll make it look easy.
Exactly. That's why you're going to pay me to teach you how to get rich, because I'll make it look easy because I'm good at it.
But it's still £10,000, £12,000 for
cheap,
a course.
I know it's very cheap.
Well, what about
Are you at
students?
university?
Sorry?
Are you at university?
I'm at university. I wouldn't be able to afford it.
But how much are your university charging you?
Well, it's a tuition loan, so I'm not getting charged at the moment.
You got a loan, so you're vulnerable as well. So you got oh my gosh, they took your money. They took your loan money.
Yes.
Jeez, that sounds like they took advantage of you. What are you studying?
I'm doing an acting course.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. And are you joking?
Nope.
So they've sold you the dream of Hollywood too?
Yep.
So you are going to end up in some McDonald's with your drama degree in debt, and you're coming.
Hopefully not
here.
McDonald's. Hopefully a bit better than that.
Okay, but I'm not, and I'm only saying this because you're coming at me, right? I'm trying to be respectful, but the reality is, you are a drama student getting it. What, are you going to get a drama degree?
A drama degree, yeah.
Are you kidding me? You're going to get a drama. Okay, and how much are you paying? How much is the whole university course going to get you?
What do you mean?
How much is it going to cost you in total in loans? What's your uni debt going to be when you finish?
Possibly, I don't know, close to 40k.
I think I won the argument already, bro.
But you want that money up front, don't you? I've got loans, so I've got time to pay it back.
People can get loans.
Okay.
People can get a loan and join the academy.
Okay. What about let's take an example. How about Danny Butcher? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, very tragic guy.
Yeah. So he obviously was a veteran who was already in a state of debt and didn't have great mental health, and he went to one of your courses because you sold the dream of becoming financially free. You basically sold that dream, and it just wasn't achievable for him. You know, your mentors pushed him, encouraged him to take further risks, to get into further debt, and at the end of it, he took his life because of the way your mentorship, basically, how your mentorship worked.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I think that's very, very low, to be honest. And what you said was actually defamatory, because what you just said was, in fact, what you've been brainwashed by.
Well, that's what his family said that you were doing to him. That your course was brainwashing him.
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality. The reality is this story, which is a tragic story,
It is.
and
It is really
I don't
tragic.
even particularly want to speak about it, to be honest, because I think it's sad for his family as well. But the reality is, this was investigated like mad, and there was no link. But the Telegraph even said this. The inquest. Have you seen the inquest?
I haven't seen the inquest, no.
I mean,
But
it might be an idea to look at the inquest.
Of course.
Yeah, which talks about why someone passed and why it happened, because the inquest was quite clear that there was zero link with me. So, and also you said that because of my course.
Yes.
It's not true though, is it?
You promised him financial freedom, and
But we don't promise anybody financial. We don't promise.
well, you offer the
To teach
chance
people.
of becoming
Yeah.
financially free.
Do you know what then? Let me ask you a question. What's the statistically, how many people take their lives? Do you know? I know, you can check it later,
In terms
but
of
In terms
what?
of like, well, I'll tell you, it's 1 in 9,000.
Mm.
Yeah, we've had a lot more than 9,000 students.
Yeah.
So statistically, it's very horrible and sad. But
It is.
you know what I mean? To say, oh, someone took their life who was a
But-
student. No, but you have to be fair. You have to say, to say that someone took their life, oh, and they happen to be your student. Then when there's no link and the inquest says there's no link,
The thing
it's
is,
really not fair. I mean,
I think you need to take a bit stricter checks with things like this. Don't pressure people further into debt if they're already in debt. I know this is just one example, but
no, I think that's quite sickening. I think that's like, I mean, people at university. I mean, if you look at Bristol University and look at the stats there, it's staggeringly high. The suicide rate.
sure.
We've actually only had one person ever take their life,
Yeah.
and we've had 40,000 plus students. So for you to sit here and say,
The
"Oh, but
thing
that
is-
must have been because," it's very nasty.
well, before his death, he shared that he felt Before his death, he shared that he felt manipulated by the way that you were teaching him. His brother-in-law said that it was brainwashing what you're teaching him. And you know, your Trustpilot has negative reviews on it. Yes, it has good reviews as well, but a lot of it is negative. And on the forums as well, a lot of it on there is negative as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the case that you're talking about of the suicide is really low, and I think that it's been debunked.
Okay.
It's been investigated, and it's people have also been sued for saying that. Obviously, the thing is with you, at least you're sat here as much as you look like you're reading your questions and whatever. At least you're sat here, right? So we can have a conversation.
Sure.
But for people, you'll find no press has ever said what you said, which was very defamatory, because you said, and this is the problem with the press. They might say things like, "Soldier takes his life after going on this course," and then people like you read it and go, "Oh, because of the course," and then people like you get yourselves into trouble by saying stuff like that, and then getting sued, and then you don't have the money to back it up, and it's just it's really sad, and it's quite low, because as I say, I mean, the reality is if someone got a car and paid 20 grand for a car, whether they got a loan or didn't, you can't say, "Oh, because he got that car." Like, I just think that's really. I mean, you must be able to see that yourself as a reasonable person. You must be able to see that what you said is unfair.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
So why did you say it?
Well, I'm sure there's got to be some sort of correlation. You know, I may be wrong, but like from face value,
Yeah.
it looks like there is a correlation, and I'm sure you can agree
No.
with me from a regular viewer.
No, I can't, because I think that the thing is, in law, right? Let's look at this like as if it was in law. In law, if you were trying to prove that point in court, the question would be, okay, so what did Samuel actually do wrong? And there's nothing. Did people have, we just have a product, sell it, deliver. We've got at Trustpilot, you say we've got unhappy customers. We do have unhappy customers sometimes, but it's very, very, very rare. We've got about 9,000 reviews on Trustpilot, and we've got 4.8 out of 5 stars. It's very, very, very high. So, have you ever run a business, or have you ever?
I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, maybe we could have another conversation about that when you've got a
Maybe.
business, but I think that's very low.
My-
And I also
my-
think it's very ironic that you sit here and say, "Oh, you sell expensive courses and get people into debt," when you're in debt yourself, 40 grand debt, going to university, and you're saying, "I sell people dreams." You're studying drama.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it,
Okay.
but there is something wrong with you sitting here and saying I'm selling people expensive courses and it's wrong, when you're studying drama and spending 40 grand. I can't get my head around that.
Well, I've still got something out of uni. Like last week, I had a couple of acting jobs, so it's working.
Brilliant. That's
It's
brilliant.
working.
Were you sent here by somebody because they didn't have the courage to come themselves? That's how it feels like.
Really now, yeah.
I'm glad. I want you to be in Hollywood.
Okay,
I
thank
genuinely
you.
do.
Yeah.
And I could show you all the success stories of my customers. And I was on a Zoom call with them last couple of nights ago, a few hundred of them, and they're all just happy and doing deals, and it just feels very strange.
Okay.
I don't quite get this.
Right. Should we move on to one last point?
Go on.
Let's talk about rent to rent. I know that's a favourite of yours.
Yeah. Well, it's not a favourite, but it's
okay.
very good.
It is very good.
should do one, actually. It might pay a bit more than your acting jobs.
Well, it's a bit unethical, don't you think?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going there, are we?
We are, yes. You
Is it as unethical as coming and blaming somebody for a suicide when there's absolutely no evidence? Or
I'm not blaming you for a suicide. I'm
Okay,
just
that's
saying
good.
that it seems there's a correlation, but let's move on.
an investigation was done 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
But go
fine. Yes, rent to rent. You encourage people to rent houses from landlords and then sublet them at even higher prices. So those tenants who have been sublet are going to really, really struggle. And I think that's really unethical on them.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with this one. So it's unethical on the tenants that are paying the higher rent.
Yes, because you're
No, but they're
literally, you're
actually-
literally squeezing every last penny
No,
out
they're-
of their pocket.
But they're paying a lower rent.
They're paying a higher rent.
No, they're paying a lower rent.
Why would they be paying a
That's
lower
how
rent?
rent to rent works. Have you ever done any of my training on rent to rents ever?
No.
Okay, I suggest you do. So here's how it works. You rent a property,
Yep.
and then what you do is you rent it out room by room.
Right.
So you might rent it for £1,000, but now you're renting it out for £600 per room.
Okay.
So now you're providing bills, and you're providing affordable accommodation for people, and you're taking one house and effectively turning it into 4 separate accommodations. So
Okay.
you're helping the economy. You're bringing
But
more
what-
houses to when there's a massive shortage of houses, and you're providing affordable accommodation for people. But as a result, you're making money. The way you get rich in life and in business is by adding value. So every time I make money, people pay me because they're thanking me. So every time I make money, I'm adding value. So if you want to make money, poor people are selfish. People that don't make money, it's because they're not adding or contributing anything to society. They're thinking about themselves, and that's why they're poor. They want to be an actor. They wish that they were in Hollywood, and that's why they're poor. They're not adding any value to society. Me, I'm actually making the economy better, and that's why I'm so rich, and I'm very proud to be rich.
But what about that middleman in the rent to rent? Say a single mum gets a bad rent to rent, she is going to really, really struggle. What do you have to say about that?
But a minute ago, you were saying that she was greedy trying to get a rent to rent, and now you're saying, isn't it a shame that she's struggling? It doesn't make any sense.
But if that does come up, like that scenario, someone might get a poor rent to rent.
Well, then they should have been trained and got a good rent to rent and learned to do their due diligence. That's just the nature of business. Isn't it a shame that the deer got hunted by the lion? That's the world. We're in a free market. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to do due diligence, you're going to get eaten alive. That's just it. Yes, isn't it sad?
It's sad,
It's also
yeah.
sad that people get ill, isn't it? That's
It is.
just it. All we can do is, it's like me here telling people, here's how you're healthy, here's how you be fit and strong, go to the gym, get medical insurance, and you're going, hey, but it's not right because some people don't do it and some people are ill. Yeah, I'm here, standing here, showing people how to do it right. You're my biggest advocate.
Okay.
You've this. I don't know if you came here, someone paid you to come to try and expose me or what. It seems all very odd, but this, what you're doing is really going to help me. I'm going to
Is
end
it
up.
though?
I'm going to end up getting so much love off of this, and you're
I
going to get
just-
so badly
I
trolled.
just
I'm going to
think
keep
what
your
you're doing
name.
is unethical.
I'm going to keep your name anonymous, bro,
Thank you.
because you are going to be trolled for this.
All
bro.
right, sure. If you say so, yeah.
Bro, I'm worried for you, man.
Oh, you know.
But if you do make it as an actor, you do realise that you become an actor, and people are going to go, "Hang on a minute, wasn't that douchebag that debated Samuel Leeds and made an absolute ass of himself, and now all your acting career's finished?" I'm not a believer of cancel culture, but this is the biggest attempt of cancelling oneself I've ever seen.
Well, I'm sorry you see it that way, but
That's not how I see
I'm
it.
just saying what I think about you and your business, and I think it's just utterly unethical.
But every point you've said, I've answered it very gentlemanlike, to the point whereby I've flipped it on its head so bad that you've agreed with me pretty much on every point, and now you're still here. I'm just baffled, mate.
I just think a lot of what you're doing is putting money first and people last, tenants last. Your courses, you sell that for a really high price. You
Bro,
own
I'm-
more than one property, which doesn't help the housing crisis that we have right now.
I'm done with this conversation.
You're
to be
done?
honest. I'm done.
You done? All right.
I'm done with this conversation.
All right.
Off you
Thank
go,
you.
mate.
All
Off
right.
you go. The only person I didn't shake hand is this douchebag. The only person I didn't shake his hand. What the hell, man? What the hell? What's his problem? Connor, do you want to go and check he's all right? Make sure he's all right. Was I too harsh? Was it fair? What's his game? Oh, who's next? I'm going to, have I got any more? What's that? Teshi, really good to see you earlier, mate. Looking forward to going through all the responses and what people have said on the video. Also, you've been removed, man. So you've been removed from the blacklist. And obviously, once people see the video, then they can make up their own mind. But I think everything was there. So keep me posted, man. Big love, and I'll speak to you soon. Oh yeah. All right. Have you got anyone else?
So do you want to do an intro for that one?
Oh yeah, I'll do an intro. Yeah, I'll do an intro. Douchebag. What was his game?
It's gone.
He had some weird agenda. He did. I reckon he was just paid to come by somebody that was too scared to come this. Oh, ask him this. Oh, ask him this. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, guy came to debate me. Absolute. I don't even know what to say about this. Loser. And I don't. It makes me wonder why I'm even doing this. But anyway, enjoy the debate. I don't know. Should we even put that one out or not?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
He makes a fool of himself. Anyway, I'm gonna go get coffee.
Right.
Are we still filming?
Maybe cut that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, if we're done, we can probably cut.